Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. I'm Sen, your executive producer, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters of our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. Those being Samantha Bates, Trevine Alexander, I thought I said that right, Cat Waterflame and L, for their support over the years. And also, if you'd like to support us, you can check us out over there. You can also check out everything that we do over on our website at www.finalshowfilms.com. Where it has links to all of our things. So thank you very much. Also, if you're on Mastodon, you can find us there now. We're at Final Show Films at kind.social. So check that out. We're going to be moving our social media over that way pretty much entirely. So follow us there. And yeah, those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live. Well, hang on. Why? Stop.
Slow down.
Uh-oh.
OBS updated, and obviously that means that the output it's listening to is wrong.
No.
Now it can
That
hear
tracks. They can hear us again? Cool.
Yep.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Wrath and Glory Under the Steel Sky. I am William Orshani, and I am your game master for this Wrath and Glory campaign. And joining me today, we have Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Tina, an orc pilot whose objective is something.
I'm glad I got
Where's
you
my
guys
map?
doing this now, so I don't even have to remember.
Just took us a
Three.
minute. That's all.
3.
Now, if we can just ever figure that out for Star Wars.
Yeah, I know, right?
demonstrate the wisdom of one of your clan's traditions. That tradition being
Go
smishing
fast.
things. Yeah.
You're an
Go
evil
fast.
son. Your tradition is go fast.
Yeah.
And Julia.
Hi, my name is Julia, and I'm playing Laura Fire, the Eldari Corsair, and my objective is 5. I've lost my train of thought, which means I'll never finish entering that power. 1, 2, 3. Employ knowledge you learned from an earlier path of your life to the current circumstances. That's going to be easier than I thought.
And Jack.
Hey, everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Aristarchus Dactyl, who's a member of the Ordo Mechanicus and a tech adept. And his goal for this week is to commune with a machine spirit. Hey, nice and simple.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Remy Mara. And I just have to say, when I was bringing up my character sheet, I misread the extra thing in player characters, and I thought it said Blair's Ginger Devotees mob. And I was very confused for a second. And my whatchamacallit is decry the villainy and violence of authority. So do what I do.
Blair's got a devotee that is played by a ginger.
You're not wrong.
Is Aristarchus a devotee of Blair?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Has Saris not been paying attention?
Well,
I think that's also pretty clear.
Yeah, honestly.
And
The less
Sen.
I've been paying attention for all your sakes. I've been paying less attention for all your sakes.
I was going to say, we can tell that Saris isn't paying attention because Remy is still alive.
Intentionally so. I'm Sen. I'm playing Saris Artinos, the Imperial Interrogator, or Inquisitorial Interrogator. And I got a 3, which is gauge the approximate interrogative breaking point for an individual.
That's a new one.
I like the idea that Saris accomplishes her goals by equal parts psyker application and plausible deniability.
That's the Inquisition. Plausible deniability is half of our job.
The other half is very explicit interrogation.
Like the other half is holding other people accountable for actions that we don't like.
And Holly.
Hey, I'm Holly. Hold on, I was about to say Mistle. I'm playing Blair. Mistel's tomorrow. Blair,
my knife.
Ganger Scum. Ditto on Jeremy's. I'm decrying the violence and villainy of authority.
Only occasionally the two of you end up with the same objective, but it's always hilarious.
It's happened a number of times.
Yeah.
Rebels with a cause.
And as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights and human rights, eat the rich, happy Wrath Month, and this stream is powered by Sirenscape. And so,
Oh shit! Sirenscape.
And Ron Perlman has the right idea.
I don't know what Ron Perlman's idea is, but generally speaking, he usually does.
Generally, that is the correct answer. Yes.
Well, no, there was the nameless Hollywood executive who said we're going to do this until people will lose their homes.
Yes.
And Ron Perlman looked dead into his TikTok camera and said, "There's a lot of ways people can lose homes, motherfucker. Somebody just needs to find out where this guy lives."
I mean, I love Ron Perlman. He's great.
Right. Look, if Ron Perlman invited me on an arson date, I would say yes.
and so when last
To
we
be honest,
left,
if most people invited you on an arson
when
date,
last we
I would
left our
say yes.
agents,
Look.
Let me know when you're back in Atlanta next time.
Okay.
the group of them had gone in various different directions, seeking information and allies in regards to the upcoming plan to try and assault the hideout fortress place of residence of the one Tycho Mordoric.
Sorry, I need to share this because I just saw this.
Uh-oh.
On June 25th, 2018, Perlman claimed that he intentionally urinated on his hand prior to shaking Harvey Weinstein's hand, followed by the message, "I think about that every time little Donnie opens up his KFC."
Anyway, I suddenly realized where my glitch is for your naming conventions in this game, Shawnee, because Tycho Mordoric, I always want to call the gang Mordoric Veritas, and that's why. And now I know why.
Yeah, because Mortis Veritas is the,
Right.
is the
Yeah,
gang,
it's
yeah.
just close enough in my brain. Anyway, as you were. We'll let Jeremy recover, I guess.
Now I'm going to think about that every time.
Never
people
going to.
Trump eats KFC.
No, go. I'm good.
So, having met with various allies and garnered as much support as they can, the group has begun to reconvene at the location that I don't think any of you have disclosed yet, in order to finalize plans and prepare to lead the assault on Tycho's compound.
Probably an elevator. It's an
Yeah.
elevator or a bar. These are
We're
the two
meeting-
places we meet.
We need to get an elevator bar.
Elevator
don't act
or
like there
bar,
isn't one.
the 2
I'm-
genders.
We're meeting at the we're meeting at the one bar that is in an elevator that just goes up and down the entire day.
Would go into. That sounds delightful.
It also sounds like a good way to get nauseous real quick. Because imagine you're already getting your center of balance thrown off by being drunk. Now you're also having your center of your feeling of gravity, your sense of gravity
No.
being tricked by the elevator. Like,
Now,
Nah, you'll be
that's
fine.
fine. Vertical
Look, as long as the
sensation
person
differences
operating the
don't make
elevator
me
isn't
nauseous.
drinking,
It's
then it's not against
around.
the law.
I just feel like it should be called the vomit comment.
Poor
is all I'm
Shawnee.
saying.
This isn't as bad as last week, so I have no sympathy.
Listen,
Last week we went an entire like 45 minutes. before we
this is
actually
true.
got
This
into
is
the game.
true.
Right.
In that case, I don't feel bad then by saying that clearly I've been playing too many drag queens at this point because I just heard go up and down and up and down, and I went into a particular direction with that. And
Was it up and down?
yeah, it was up and down.
Did you throw it in a circle?
Well, I didn't.
Oh, okay. So long as someone threw it in a circle, that's the important part.
Right.
So yeah, is this a bar or an elevator or
both.
Is Shawnee going to wholesale make a elevator bar in the Hive City that we're just deciding
In
to
fairness,
meet for the first time just now?
I believe it was explicitly said like it is a bar in the Underhive somewhere. Just
Okay.
we didn't name the bar.
I
Gotcha.
believe that was the case. Yes.
Right, so we're
All right.
meeting at the Vomit Comet, the Underhive bar in an elevator.
And it definitely was
It's a
not the
decommissioned
bar that Blair and I were most recently in, because that would be a bad bar to be in to discuss.
No, I think we should go to that bar.
No, we definitely should.
Okay.
I
No,
would
if we're-
advise
if
advising
we're
against that.
doing this, the bar has been built out
Oh
of
my god, are you
the bar-
really fucking doing it?
the bar has been built out of a decommissioned massive lifter elevator.
Cargo lift, yeah.
And a lift, the specific kind of lifter that we're talking about is one that, so there are various different models of massive elevators, some of them in various different formats. This one is built, it is built out of there's a central rise pillar that sort of rises up several different levels. And the elevator itself is designed sort of like a corkscrew in that it sort of, as it rises by spinning around the grooves in the central pillar. So that the elevator itself sort of rotates around the pillar to rise levels as it goes on.
This is
It's
very,
been-
very poor engineering, but I'm here
now
for
we're
it.
adding
Absolutely.
a third dimensionality, which makes it definitely likely you're going to throw up if you drink.
But the thing has been decommissioned, so it just sort of sits in place at this point. And so it is known simply as the uplift. Which is both reverential to the emperor and the uplifting of the god emperor's blessing, and also a pun on the fact that this lift doesn't go up anymore.
Love it.
So yeah, as soon as he walks through the door, Aristarchus is like, "My gods, how have I never heard of this place?
It's a very good
This is
question. We've walked
fantastic.
past it like 4 times, Aristarchus.
I must have been looking in a different direction."
Obviously.
Eventually, I'm going to get Jack to play Warhammer 40k Dark Tide so I can show him this exact lift because I'm remembering it out of a Dark Tide mission.
And yeah,
Yeah,
Aristarchus is gonna go sidle up to the bar, completely ignore any of the wait staff, and see if he can talk to the elevator.
All right.
I feel like Blair and I are probably already there because we're already in the yard. So like we're in the corner, we just see him walk up, start talking to the elevator. And he just
Now, I love the image of like he starts talking to the elevator and Blair starts responding.
yes.
Roll me a tech test, Aristarchus.
As I walk
Yes,
past,
gonna try and commune with this machine spirit.
as I walk
Hello?
past Aristarchus,
What's your name?
I'm just gonna go. Do not make the elevator move.
5 successes, 5 icons, I should say.
So the machine spirit of this elevator has long been dormant, and you have a hard time trying to coax it into awareness. When you do, the platform shakes a little bit.
Yes.
Most of the patrons sort of like stumble on the ground and sort of look around their drinks.
I've already lifted up my drink, so it's not on the table.
Fortunately, the elevator doesn't actually start moving because it's had a lot of infrastructure built onto it, which would really go crashing if it started to move. But as the elevator powers itself back on, you feel that rumble, and you are able to have a binaural communication with this elevator. So machine spirits are sort of differentiated in A, size, and B, complexity.
Mhm.
While this machine spirit is of a massive machine, its task is incredibly simple.
Right. Up,
So it
down.
is
Wait.
akin to speaking with an enormous beast. It's as
Okay.
if trying to be an animal whisperer to an elephant.
It's
Okay.
a himbo.
Kind of, yes.
It's a
Yes.
himbo.
Excellent.
So yeah, Aristarchus will just take a good probably 5, maybe 10 minutes, just trying to commune with this machine spirit, expressing gratitude for its work over the years that it was there, thanking it for being such a fantastic supporter of all of this infrastructure and contributing to the God Emperor's efforts at enculturation on this planet, and assuring it that the Omnissiah is very pleased with its work and will call upon it again should its labors be required.
You get the sort of mechanical binoric affirmations of acknowledgement that come from your traditional expected work with a machine spirit of this scale. And congratulations, you have indeed fulfilled your objective.
Yes! Right out the gate.
Meanwhile,
Aristarchus is just going to wander back afterwards. Just you can only see it up here, but beaming.
Serious?
Meanwhile, the rest of you.
Remy, sitting down, getting a drink.
So how was your visit above ground?
It went well. We have the plan. I'll lay out basically the full plan. At the moment, the plan is to allow Tina's tribe to run in first and initiate the combat, and then the what is it? The Steel Watch is going to be the ones that are actually moving in to assist. Yeah. The Steel Watch will follow behind to assist with assaulting the fortress. The Imperial Guard on station are going to also lend their support, though they are largely going to be held in reserve for defensive purposes should the assault go wrong. We are going to be following in after the Steel Watch to attempt to insert as a means of locating and killing the sorcerer Janus. And the in the event that we fail entirely, the planet is being blockaded by the Inquisition so as to prevent any of their forces from getting off planet.
Right. All right. I'm not. Go ahead.
Sorry. Also, Sergeant Tandris is reaching out to the Ultramarines in the system to see if they can acquire any further information on this Janus, in addition to providing us combat support.
So, I mean, it sounds sound to my I never quite. Large-scale battle tactics was never my area of expertise, so fair enough. I'm going to devil's advocate one or two things.
Certainly.
First of all, from what we discovered through sources, Janus does a lot of sacrificing people for power. So my concern is if a whole mess of people run in and die, we could just be making them that much stronger.
William, what was the name of the gang that is no more?
The Chosen.
The Chosen.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how familiar you are with gangs in the Underhive, but the Chosen was one of the three big ones, and they're all gone now.
Likely sacrificed?
Correction.
Like, as of last night?
Most of them are gone.
There are a few.
There are a few stragglers that are going to get picked up by cults, more than likely.
Yeah.
Shawnee, do I know how long do I know from... I obviously haven't directly engaged in battles between Space Marine and Chaos Marines, but do I know how typically, like, using the you wouldn't be able to use the active fighting to summon demons normally, would you? I feel like that takes time.
You can roll me
Scholar or Psychic Mastery or something.
Roll me Scholar.
Yeah. Any bonuses for my particular Ordo?
No, because you're Ordo Hereticus, not Ordo Malleus. Oh no, you're Ordo Malleus.
I'm Ordo
specifically. That's
Malleus.
right. Right. Yes. Get me another 3 dice.
Okay.
Nice.
8 successes and a glory.
Nice. Glory goes up to 1. It depends on the god and the demonic summoning. Horn, the chaos god of war, battle, bloodshed, destruction,
Yeah, for
etc.
him, war is how you summon them.
War is specifically how you summon cornate demons.
Right, yeah.
Blood sacrifices and violent battlefield engagements are more likely to fight to grow power in service to Khorne. If your opponent is a servant of all of the chaos gods, it is likely that there are numerous methods by which they might be able to summon demons.
Right. We've mostly been, as far as we've been able to suss out thus far, it's largely seems like it's Nurgle and Slanesh that at hand here.
Well, you haven't heard the Nurgle news because that
Oh.
was given to.
I haven't heard the Nurgle news. Slanesh is largely the only thing that I've.
You the
aware of.
only thing you've encountered has been a Slaneshi demonette and a couple of cults that have been related to that.
Yeah. As that would be true if we were fighting a Khornite cult. However, at the moment, as far as I'm aware, unless you have new information, the only demon activity we've encountered has been Slaneshi in origin, and Slaneshi rituals for sacrifice and summoning tend to be more drawn out affairs, as far as I'm aware.
Well, good news and bad news, at least as far as we know. Which do you want first?
Both.
All right. Well, the good news is we at least currently have no knowledge of Khornite cults being involved. Bad news is it's not just the one you mentioned.
Which others?
And I'll just write down.
Okay, yeah. So I'm assuming because Nurgle is the god of stasis, that summoning rituals for Nurgle demons also aren't the kind you can really do on a battlefield. At
Oh
least
no,
not
you
quickly.
absolutely can do them on a battlefield because Nurgle is the god of not just stasis, he is also the god of plagues and death
Yeah.
and rebirth.
So yeah. So then in that case, yeah, yeah.
Like really, the one like they're sort of every chaos god has a god that they are like basically diametrically opposed to. Nurgle to Tzeentch and Khorne to Slanesh.
Yeah.
But especially in those that worship all 4 of them, they have certain strengths that play well together.
Right.
Tzeentchian and Slaneshi cult practices tend to be more methodical, drawn out. They can be done on the battlefield if they're part of a particularly well put together plan, but for the most part, they require long, extravagant rituals. Nurgle and Khorne very much improvise. There's a lot of numerology in Nurgle work, but it is very grown and like natural evolution, and Khorne is just kill whatever the fuck's in front of you.
Well, that does put a wrench in it. However, so yes, demons of that particular god can be summoned on the battlefield through the death of the followers and others as sacrifice. They can also just be summoned without the battle, provided they have enough bodies. So
they've had enough bodies.
It's not. I feel it's not really going to be a net positive or negative in either direction. Honestly, either they will summon more, or they will have already summoned more, and the amount that we're going to face is going to go up regardless. The amount that we're going to face will only go down through the ferocity and battle knowledge of the orcs and the Steel Watch following them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm not saying it again. I'm just devil's advocating.
Absolutely.
And it's also the way it was being described to us, at least, was not necessarily sacrifice to summon demons. It seemed, at least the way I took it, was it was sacrificed to gain this person, Janice, more personal power.
In that case, it would be sacrificing Psychus specifically, and in that particular faction, we're not going to be too much worried.
Not necessarily just psychers.
I mean, is there a way to increase your psychic power by sacrificing non-psychers?
Not your psychic power, but you can gain favor with the dark gods, which
Yeah, sure,
can get you
sure.
blessings
Yeah,
and boons and powers.
Yeah. So, honestly, yes, that's any power, any power advantage. I appreciate the I appreciate the opposing argument, and there is value in answering the suggestions and the questions. But any power that they're going to gain through the assault, they're going to have gained anyways. In fact, the longer we wait, the more power they're going to gain regardless.
You're not wrong.
There's not going to be a way to safely stealth into the fortress with our group. So utilizing the assault as a cover for our activities is going to be the best option we have, as far as I can tell.
Hello, Remy. Hello, Miss Blair.
Hi, Aristarchus.
Did you have a good conversation?
Well, fancy you should ask. I think if we come back a little later, I could maybe get the bar up a couple levels if we wanted to.
I just point at
Why don't you check with the owner of the bar before you do that?
Well, that's the fascinating thing, you see, Remy. I was calculating with the legal. Ooh.
I just point at one of the load-bearing beams that connects the central pillar to the wall.
Like I said, would require a bit of preparation.
Things that don't move.
We're gonna worry about that later. We have a lot to worry about right now.
You know,
right.
That's.
I'm just saying.
She'll whisper to Remy, "It's a later problem."
I'm just saying. Do you know what bar proprietors really hate? When you move their physical location further away from their clientele.
I mean, moving up in the spire generally signifies an increase.
Shawnee, about when would Laurel be arriving?
About nowish.
Yeah, probably property taxes too.
We're going to table this discussion until the
yes,
get
yeah,
here
it's
and we
not
can
the important part.
So Laurel and Ema will walk in.
Laurel, Ema.
Let's see, you lot are already here.
Have I? Because I feel like I wasn't around at any point where.
Oh, you met Ema at least briefly.
But I don't know if you were ever properly introduced. So
No.
You
Because
definitely saw her
usually
when
go
you were
to visit
coming in the chapel, I think, as she was like outside with her ridiculous gun.
Right.
So,
okay.
Ema, this is Remy. I believe the only member of our party that you haven't properly been introduced to. Remy, this is Ema.
Howdy.
This one.
All right.
They're responsible for the bolt revolver that you now have.
Oh, thank you. So let's see. Beyond.
She's a kinfolk.
Information. Janice is generally being referred to as the bearer of the word.
Shawnee, do I know what that means? Because I, the player, know what that means.
Roll scholar, yeah.
Do I still
I was
have
going
that
to say,
+3?
can Aristarchus roll scholar on that?
Yep, if you want.
Do I still have that +3 for my Ordo?
It's only a +1 here because it's not a direct demon that you're dealing with. It is
I
related.
I would like to roll it just.
I'm going to spend a
Yeah, I'm
wrath.
also going to spend a will. A wrath.
Ooh.
There we go. 8.
7. It makes sense that Ceres would know more about that than Aristarchus probably would.
I'll take a ruin off of that.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Laurel.
So both Aristarchus and Ceres at roughly the same time have the realization the bearers of the word, as far as a group of individuals, are only ever really used as an epithet of the word bearers, the Legion of Fallen Space Marines.
I just reach up and activate my comm my Vox bead.
Oh, that's very bad.
Calling,
I did something wrong, didn't I?
Calling.
What did I do wrong?
Calling Sergeant Tandris and just holding up a hand.
God damn it!
Moment passes. And this is Sergeant Tandris.
Sergeant Tandris, I have some unfortunate news.
Go ahead.
Oh, Remy.
We have recently received information that seems to indicate that our enemy Janice would be a sorcerer of the Word Bearers.
Well, that just about confirms our suspicions that this assault is being led to greater ends in the region of Ultramar.
Yes.
Consider Madame High Frasier, but if she was bad, like real bad.
So, we would definitely need your assistance on this, and honestly, if your brothers can provide a few drop pods, that might be useful, depending on the amount of forces he's managed to sneak into the planet.
We will see if it is possible that a status squad can be seconded.
Thank you.
I am currently not in operation with my chapter, being in my service to the Watch, but I think this would be worth their attention.
Absolutely.
I
And
think
again,
Gilliman himself would want this dealt with.
if you need any support on the requisition, I can provide it.
Sorry, I wasn't there for the conversation, but she said who would want this dealt with?
Gilliman himself.
Gilliman. Okay.
The Primarch of the Ultramarines.
Okay.
And current Lord of the Imperium.
Yeah. Keep me updated, please. Thank you.
Like head of state level?
Yes.
Yeah, like
Okay.
active
Regent.
High Lord, Regent of the Imperium. Yes,
Okay.
Imperial Regent, while the Emperor is on the Golden Throne.
So, dropping my hand. You didn't do anything. Actually, that's very good information, honestly, Remy. So, the only people that are referred to as bearers of the word are members of the traitor Marines, the word bearers.
Okay.
These are Astartes, formerly corrupted by chaos and who betrayed the Emperor. They are, and sorcerers of theirs would be Astartes, Psychos. So, if you to give a sense of idea, if you were to think of Sergeant Tandris, but with all the magical prowess of her sister.
Her niece, you mean?
Sorry, her niece. Of her niece.
Distant niece.
Yeah, of her distant niece.
We.
Yes. So,
All right.
hopefully, we will be able to get some Ultramarine assistance on this as well now, but otherwise, this is a...
I like how you just say get some ultramarine assistance. Like that's
Right.
a normal thing for the rest of us. But no, I get it.
So
Fair enough.
outside
the
of
block-
that, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on.
I guess saying that he's very powerful is pointless at this point and redundant.
Yes.
So, we, from what we've heard, nobody who ever goes to see him is ever seen again.
Makes sense.
Sacrifices.
Sacrifices, and also he wouldn't want word of a word bearer being on the planet to get out.
Makes sense. As far as where to find him, that means we need to go where people aren't. Old churches. Basically anywhere I ask my source specifically, where have you gotten that feeling that you just need to go away?
Yes.
Old churches, anywhere Tycho's been, obviously. That sort of thing.
Yes, if he's not in the fortress, then yes, he will be hiding somewhere nearby, but under one of those guises.
Our understanding is that he's been moving.
Makes sense.
Now there's one other wrinkle to this.
Please continue.
So when we went and talked with what's her name?
Wastelanders.
Even
Yes.
Avon Pyrus.
Avon.
Mhm.
We went to go talk with Avon of the Wastelanders. Mortis Veritas has some people in their territory who are sick was the word that was used.
Plague bearers.
And
Plague bearers.
essentially,
Lovely.
as we've been telling you about Mortis Veritas, they're very laissez-faire. They don't rule with an iron fist.
Yes, hence the problems that we're currently in.
We need to convince them to quarantine their sick so it doesn't spread to other territories.
How would you suggest convincing them?
I have contacts. I can make that. I can probably get us, hopefully, as much as a direct meeting, which we still haven't gotten yet, but hopefully as much as that. If I provide enough apocalyptic information. Oh, look, we have apocalyptic information. And use that as a pretext to speak to them directly and say, hey, this is a problem. You need to handle it. Otherwise, your territory won't be yours anymore.
Sorry, Remy just started talking about diseases and quarantines. Can the biologus in the room make a roll?
Only Medicae.
Okay.
We've also determined we've
7.
Nurglish, Nurglite actually is technically the demonym.
It's a great word.
Nurglish.
Nurglites speak Nurglish.
It's really
I was gonna say Nurglish is the usual. Nurglite is the diet version.
okay. Yeah, sure.
Nurglish just
great
sounds
taste.
like what y'all.
Get yourself
Nurglish just sounds like what we do whenever we start talking about magic
get
or
get yourself some
anime
Nurglite.
or
But Nurglite diseases can be treated theoretically, in that medical facilities are able to attempt to counteract symptoms and attempt to treat diseases caused by Nurglite infections. However, it is a difficult and arduous process because the diseases are as much psychic and supernatural as the demons that they come from.
Okay.
It is a difficult and arduous task, and typically speaking, common protocols when someone is infected with a Nurgle-borne disease is burn them before
Right.
it spreads.
Shoot in face, burn the rest.
fortunately, I do not know that.
Now, you live off the region of Ultramar, which is known to practice the attempt at treating diseases caused by Nurgle infections. Specifically, there is a world known as Iax that has been set up as basically a hospital world for those who have been infected or caught by any amount of infectious disease during the Imperium's ongoing war with Nurgle's forces in the region of Ultramar. There are ways to treat this, and Ultramar would rather they be treated than burned unless absolutely necessary. Because every life saved is a life that can be part of the Imperium and be worthwhile. It is entirely possible to try and treat people as long as the disease has not gotten too far. That requires careful intervention and a lot of medical equipment. And thorough action.
And time and resources.
Yeah. Things that you don't have.
Right. Oh, Remy, unfortunately, generally, as the ranking medical officer in presence at the moment.
Nope, don't want to hear it. Do not want to hear it because I know it's going to be bad. And nope.
It's better than possibly allowing a rapacious pathogen that is empowered by forces of the enemy to ravage a population, because even quarantine only does so much when you have psychic empowerment behind.
So let's put it this way. once we have gotten this meeting, have gotten the buy-in, feel free to interject with the information that I do not have.
All right.
If I know it before then, it will be harder for me to bring myself to convince people of things.
Save it for later. Yes.
No, I think I get it.
On that note, also, we have loosely determined Janus's most likely objective, which is to turn this world into basically a production facility for the enemy within Ultramar territory.
Delightful.
So everyone
I think we should avoid that.
everyone on planet will basically be fuel for the ongoing armies and war for the enemy, as this becomes a gateway deep into Imperial territory,
Right.
for their forces.
Oh dear.
I've already listed before what the end result of that plan is going to be from our perspective,
Mm-hmm.
but the timetable has increased, shall we say.
Moved up, you say. You mean.
Yes.
Generally, when the timetable increases, that's a good thing because we have more time.
Moved up, yes. Pardon me.
It's all good.
So
Dope.
we do not have much time.
All right. Well, at least we don't know where he is.
Ma'am Martino, so given we've got a
I was still waiting for
pathogen
Tina as well.
objective and a entrenched position neutralization objective, how are we prioritizing those currently?
The pathogen, we have forces that will be able to combat the fortress without us. We should focus on containing the plague threat as quickly as possible, because that will undermine any and all other objectives we have if it is not dealt with.
Understood.
Yeah, I'll go set up. I will go set up the meet and strongly suggest that it be conducted on an escalated time frame.
If it would help, let them know that you're acting with my authority.
It's not going to help with Mortis. It's not going to help with the underground game.
It might help with Mortis Veritas, if none of the others. I will leave that to your discretion. But if they are as intelligence gathering focused as it has been indicated, they will understand the meaning of that more than the others might.
My concern there is I'm sure that they're good at I'm sure sounds kind of I know that they're good at intelligence gathering. That's their thing. The tiny bits of information that they may not have would be the crucial ones. And I think I can convince them on the I think I can convince them without.
Absolutely. I'm just letting you know that if you feel that it would be necessary to the objective, you have permission to do so.
Look, Saris, I would have done it whether you give me permission or not if I thought that I could get away with it.
Yes, but this way I don't have to kill you for doing so when I find out later.
And I have certainly not done that at any point up until now. I'm going to go set up a meeting.
Right. Aristarchus will follow Remy out.
As the
all right. Blair's going with both of them.
status, has the blockade been set in place?
As far as I'm aware.
That might be an issue.
It's unfortunately a necessity.
I understand.
The Steel Watch captain was also not happy with it, but
I mean, I'm not surprised. This planet won't last more than a week without its regular supplies.
yes, well, they should hopefully use that as an incentive.
Good news, if the blockade doesn't work, they won't have to wait a week for it not to be done.
Yeah, also, if we fail, they will have less than a week before they're all dead anyways.
All right. Well, suppose let's get to work.
When we need to wait for Tina to arrive first, just so that we can confirm
hear the
our
sound of heavy
timeline.
metal boots.
As we're going out,
I-
you're coming in.
Hello,
Hey!
Tina. We're gonna
Hello.
go talk to Modus Veritas.
Oh, okay. This is cool. Look around at the bar.
I'm just making sure they don't get killed.
The
And Blair
elevator
says
doesn't-
walking after.
The elevator doesn't go up or down right now.
Right.
Everybody's at that table over there.
Okay. Head over that way. I wanted to just really quick. I had scavenged cushions from the abandoned
Yes.
theater.
Yes, yes, you had.
I have been attaching
So glad you remembered
them.
those.
Yes, this is very important. I have been. The reason I'm so late is because I was attaching them. Hopefully.
Yes, to your
To-
vehicle.
Yes.
You
to
know how you now
provide
have padded
cushion.
seats in your
Excellent. Beautiful.
Ridge Runner.
Lovely.
Well, it took a lot of
Won't be an
duct tape.
uncomfortably padded, but
I love that
Still
reclaimed
padded.
theater seating is Tina's version of shows up 2 hours late with Starbucks.
Yeah.
Tina, how goes the wall?
Oh, it's ready.
Have they already set off, or are they planning to set off soon?
Yes.
All right. Well then, I will let the other forces know, and
Of note, you can probably, knowing orcs, you can probably tell your forces to go in whenever you want, because the orcs aren't going to stop fighting.
oh, absolutely. So
The
yeah,
fight will still be going on whenever
were-
anyone gets
they
there.
were just waiting to know when the orcs were going, so that I could tell them, so that they could then wait an hour and then yell after. I will. So yeah, I will. All right. Would you like to join them, or would you like to stay with us? We're going to be hunting. We're going to be hunting a sorcerer.
rabbit.
Like to go with them.
Sorry. To be clear, Blair, Remy, and Aristarchus right now are going to go talk with some people that we're then going to talk with, and then after that, the lot of us are going to be hunting.
That's a lot of talking.
Yes. We're going to be hunting what is effectively one of your weird boys, but bigger and stronger. So would you like to hunt the weird boy that is bigger and stronger with us, or go with the rest of your war to fight the smaller and easier to kill enemies?
Bigger.
Then grab a drink. As soon as they're ready, we'll follow after.
Right.
And
I grab a drink off of someone.
Person turns around like they're going to start a fight over you snapping
Yeah,
the drink,
no,
and
you're not.
Then they realize that they're looking at an orc,
Yeah.
and they're like, "I'm going to sit down now."
and
Wise decision.
while Tina's grabbing
Lorwell
oh, good.
is going to make a Vox speed call real quick.
I'm also making a Vox speed call.
Is Laurel reaching out to? I'm assuming
Ronan.
Ronan. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. And it will simply be furthering plans and then give location of bar.
Oh. I'm already there.
Of course you are. Make yourself known.
Meanwhile, Ceres.
So, I feel like I should call Sergeant Tandris, but I feel like I'm bugging her too much right now. But I'm going to call Sergeant Tandris because actually the Ordo Xenos is going to be more useful in this particular case right now.
You ring Sergeant Tandris.
Apologies for the frequent calls. This is Interrogator Artinos again. We have learned more information, and I will relay the information that we have just received regarding plague bearers, and that the sorcerer seems to be wandering from location to location. Here are their basic types that we've identified.
Yeah. All this seems like standard operating procedure for a word bearer attempting to subvert a planet. There may not be many of them, otherwise we would have seen significantly more action by now. Yeah, they may even be alone. But this will be difficult. Quarantine will do something to slow the spread, but it will take severe effort to make it effective.
One of my allies is at the moment working to at the moment working to set up a in-person meeting with the leader of Mortis Veritas. After which we will be dealing with the plague bearers and then hunting the sorcerer. So, whenever you're available, if you would join us,
Very well.
and I'll give her the location that we're currently at, and then I will call the adjudicator.
Yep.
And let her know. I've received word that the orc walk is on the move. If not now, within the hour. They will be engaging as soon as they reach the fortified location. Use that to judge the timing of your forces as you will.
All right, we'll begin our operations then.
We will be operating outside the battle area. Our quarry is on the move, it seems. So while you are dealing with the entrenched forces, we will be hunting the sorcerer. If you need any further information or learn anything during your assault, let me know, please.
So, Saris, you finish your Vox call.
Yep.
And you look back over, and sitting directly between you and Laurel, with Laurel having also not realized that they were there, is a black-clad figure in Eldari armor, a long white ponytail sort of trailing behind their head, as they sort of sit as if they were sitting at a bar having a drink the entire time, and sort of you sort of look directly at them as they seem to have deigned to let themselves be seen.
I'll let you take that complication for a ruin, but with two successes on a willpower roll, I don't shoot him immediately, or try to anyways.
Aw.
You would be Ronan.
That I would.
Laurel would just lean over to Ema, my mentor.
I figured, considering how quick he was to show up.
Ooh, another one.
Nod my head.
Hi.
Interrogator Artinos.
I am well aware. I have been keeping eyes on your group since I was called to this world by Laurel.
I figured, but propriety and all that. Would hate to be rude. I'm assuming you've been listening into the conversation that's been going on?
Indeed.
Is there anything that you need to be caught up on, or anything you'd like to add?
There is a piece of information that may be relevant. The activities that you're looking for. Well, it is true that the word bearer is known to wander. There is only one place that he is known to frequent more than once. Typically speaking, every other place he has been once and never again. His task has been done. The only place he has returned to is Tycho's fortress.
So he likely has an altar there.
Most likely, a place where he can venerate the dark gods.
From the locations that he's been sighted at previously, his most recent one closest to the fortress. Do you know where that is?
Deep in Mortis Veritas territory, likely where he sprouted this plague.
Then my inclination would be to, once we've dealt with the plague bearers, go to his last known location and follow his trail back to the fortress rather than trying to go in behind the army.
I can certainly find the path and lead you along the way.
You have my thanks.
In the meantime, Remy, Aristarchus, and Blair are headed out. Are you heading to your drop point, or are you trying to make a specific contact, Remy?
I don't know if I have the ability to make a specific contact.
You do know that your specific task, you know that they had been aiming to reach out to you at some point.
Mhm.
So
That doesn't mean I know how to make contact
Yeah.
with them.
exactly. I'm assuming you're heading to your dead drop.
Yep, that's the plan.
Question before we get there. As it was described, because I, the player, missed it, but Aristarchus probably heard it if it was projected. Has the plague manifested anywhere outside of Mortis Veritas territory that we know of?
At the moment, as far as the understanding was given, it is a specific sub-region inside of Mortis Veritas territory that has begun
Okay.
to feel the effects.
That has begun to feel the effects. Okay. Aristarchus will, along the way, then ask Remy to inform him as soon as we get in geospatial proximity if he doesn't already know the coordinates of that location.
Of where we are, when we're in the territory.
When we get into Mortis Veritas territory, and specifically if we start getting close to where the plague has been seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I want to keep an eye out for a couple things. So just let me know when we get close if you don't mind.
Okay. Are these the things that I shouldn't know?
What I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember
no,
that
if I-
conversation we had about the things I shouldn't know?
Right. No, I don't think so. It's just if we get close, I want to keep an eye out so that if there are symptoms or anything that we can do to sort of narrow down our analysis scope, just giving myself a little heads up to know what to expect in the event that we are allowed to come in and sort of help treat whatever's happening.
Is
You know
there
what?
any?
Sorry, go ahead.
Or if I'm very, very lucky, just find whoever's causing this plague and shoot him in the fucking face.
Is there anything we can do to, prevent ourselves from catching this?
I mean, yes. I just don't know what those things exactly are yet because I don't really have an analysis other than general plague.
Hold your breath and think clean thoughts.
But he pulls out a piece of paper, and there's a series of syllables scrawled on it. This is my best layman's version of a binaural meditation that you can repeat often to yourself to keep away any influences of the enemy.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
It's like an
Aristarchus.
antivirus for biological beings.
You know what? Mm.
And Aristarchus,
don't have time.
you can also add this particular note: the plague being partially psychic in nature, faith and willpower is legitimately one of the best
Right.
ways to resist the disease.
Yep. It'll help focus your mind so that you can resist the psychic influences that are endemic to this pathogen.
Right. Okay. That's the thing. Yeah, fuck it. We don't have time for this dead drop bullshit. And I switch direction. I'm going to walk dead into the territory. They're gonna know I'm there. They're gonna know I'm not doing this. I'm not just randomly wandering in for no reason. This might get a little hostile at first.
There was the call I was looking for.
That's all right. That's how I do things.
All right.
We shouldn't fire back.
But Blair is currently pulling out her gun. Oh, all right.
All right. when Aristarchus sees Blair pull out her gun, he absolutely draws his shotgun as well.
Nope, 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 nope,
Nope.
nope. Absolutely not.
All right,
We're tr-
if people are shooting at me, I need to have some form
They're
of defense.
they're probably not going to shoot at us.
Probably is
Probably.
not a no.
Look.
Does Aristarchus see anything vaguely plague related on 7 icons in the immediate vicinity that he might
Not
be
in
able to
immediate
shoot with a
vicinity, no.
shotgun? Okay,
Not
then he
immediately.
puts the shotgun away.
Look, if we had time and we had no, just time to do this in a way that is 100% risk-free, I would do that. Instead, we're going to let me ask you this, Blair. What do you think would happen if we just charged directly into Wastelander territory, or somebody who wasn't part of your group charged into your territory without announcing themselves or anything?
I understand what you're saying. She'll put her gun away, but she
All
will
right.
keep her hand on it.
That's fine.
But I
As long as it's
still
not out.
I still want to be ready in case something happens.
They're probably not going to shoot at us.
Still not a no.
You're right. It is not a no.
You want me to walk in front? Because I've got better armor than most of you.
No,
I was
you're not
gonna say,
walking in front.
Let the yelling commence.
Oh,
So-
who are we yelling at?
Well, presumably each other, comes a voice from the shadows.
There we
hello.
are.
As an individual dressed entirely in black body armor sort of emerges from the darkness, their entire form sort of hidden by the armor and cloak that they're wearing. The faceplate on the armor is completely dark with just sort of like the faintly glowing blue eyes of ocular sensors.
Oh, this was a very shadowy type.
As they step out, and you can see the long stock of a rifle sort of creeping out from the cloak. As you recognize your contact, the second in command of Mortis Veritas.
Take me to your leader. Now,
Remy,
more seriously, I need to talk to your boss.
well,
There is a situation there that you know what? Yeah, I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know large swaths of things, but there is whatever you know, it's worse.
I figured it would have to be if you were going to walk directly into our territory.
Uh-huh.
Good news is Nox is already here.
Oh, good.
And it's at that point that a second figure emerges. This individual dressed in like similarly largely black body armor, but the much more individually threatening. Where this individual is just dressed entirely in a cloak with just the butt of a rifle. This person's armor is very clearly presented. Both the shoulder guards on the armor and also the faceplate of his otherwise plain blue glass mask is marked with images of a skull, with the gauntlets having bladed protrusions over the knuckles, and a pair of bolt pistols in his hands, not wielded as if in threat, but just ready. There's a faint trace of orange around the waist of the armor. And the boots themselves similarly bladed, seemingly for climbing, but also theoretically for like potentially injuring someone. As this individual in this sort of completely blue visored mask with the decals of a fanged skull over the faceplate steps into view. I understand that you've got a bit of information and a request to make of me. Their voice is entirely, the anonymous filters that are used when someone is talking to an informant. That's all that's coming out of his mask.
I'm disappointed that it's not Roger Jackson. Um, so I'd introduce people, but I'm sure you know who they are. And I'm also sure that you know that you have some people in your territory who are not doing well currently.
Yes, we've noticed an outbreak of some disease being taking place in some of our sectors.
You need to quarantine that shit now. And realize it's probably not going to be enough, and they're going to need to be treated very soon by people who probably who have capabilities that you don't. It's Nurgle disease.
I'm assuming you have information to back up this request.
It is a Nurgle influenced disease.
And in the Wednesday crew chat is the image of Nox for you.
Sweet.
And he sort of, his head sort of, there's no motion. You can't see any motion in him as he seems to process for a second.
Yeah, a little body language probably.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, however you need to handle it, you handle it, but realize that if it spreads outside your territory, or if it gets much worse of a problem inside your territory won't be your territory anymore. And I'm not saying that as a threat. I'm saying that as simply stating fact. Because other people know about this.
Just go ahead and roll me. I believe there's a persuasion skill. 1 second.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll me that.
6.
Nice.
Look at that.
Every single one was a success.
Yep.
Nice.
So you sort of deliver this request, and he pauses, and very well, and he sort of indicates to the second in command, engage quarantine, get everyone rounded up. I want no one moving in or out of affected areas. Sectors D12 through Epsilon 7 are too heavily lost. Burn them. Everything else, keep everything quiet.
My good friend Aristarchus here might be able to offer some insight on what to do with the situation, or resources potentially, if you are willing to accept it. That is a deal between him and what he represents and y'all. I'm just here to make connections, baby. You can thank me later.
Protocols would be to inform the leader of the Autobiologus, and given our proximity to Ultramar, there is a level of intent on treatment rather than simply quarantine by fire. So, options on the table primarily, but given the level of report, it seems that this has progressed to a point where your initial reaction is likely going to be more effective in the long term.
Unless you've got transport to Ajax, there's not a lot we can do to treat this kind of disease down here.
That is very true. I also tangentially represent a small squadron who might be induced to hunt down the perpetrators of this said occurrence as swiftly and with as much prejudice as possible.
Yes, your inquisitorial band. Well,
we would, of course, need clearance to operate with some level of freedom within the bounds of the Hive City that you seem to have claimed jurisdiction over.
If you wish to walk into plague-bound territory, I won't stop you. We will handle quarantine on our own. I don't want you spreading it. Do know that if you go in and we suspect there is even any risk when you try and come out, you will be held like everyone else.
Duly noted.
I would recommend you focus your efforts on halting the enemy's engagement while we focus on dealing with what is going on in our territory.
Based on what sort of strategy he voiced to his second, does this sound like adequate reaction to Aristarchus?
I mean, based on what you understand, if you understand what he said properly, what he told his second in command was to to quietly to quietly quarantine every sector that he thinks is not severe, and the sectors that he thinks are severe to completely eradicate.
Right.
Seems pretty standard for most of the Imperium,
Right.
honestly.
Okay. And based on that quarantine, there's a potential they could conceivably halt whatever psyker is responsible for spreading this. And then at that point, does Mortis Veritas have the muscle to kill a psyker effectively, right?
I mean, the disease is out. Like, it might be
Okay.
psychic in nature, but it's not necessarily tied to a single psyker.
Okay. So the seeding efforts might not still be active. They may have planted what they wanted to, and then are just going to let it run its course and hopefully achieve what they want effectively.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. All right.
Eliminating psychers might weaken it,
Okay.
make it much more easier to combat. Eliminating the sorcerers who are behind it often will have deleterious effects on the plague itself, both its effects, its ability to be fought, and its spread.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the warp. Things are connected in that kind of way. But the disease itself is out.
It's already in the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Cool. Aristarchus is then going to just to step aside and vox Saris then, probably. Martinos, we've made contact with Mortis Veritas. They are engaging fairly standard Imperial quarantine procedures, cleansing the most infected areas and those that are simply at risk being blockaded on a local level. At this point, it looks like unless we actually have a target on any of the exact psychos responsible, our efforts might not be directly needed on the quarantine front. That seems to be well underway with local individuals who are a bit more familiar with the individual areas than we would be.
Hold a moment. To Ronan, do you have exact coordinates for the last known location for the sorcerer in Mortis Veritas territory?
I can guide you there, yes.
Right. Then back to Aristarchus. That's very good. Let them know that the last known location of the sorcerer we're hunting was within their territory. We would like to begin hunting them where they were last noted, and then proceed to follow their trail back to the fortress. Most likely the sorcerer has retreated to the fortress at this point, but following their trail will get us closer to their altar, rather than having to go through the fighting.
Will do. And once you have a site, we will rendezvous with you at that location.
Let me know if we have operational permission, and then we'll get moving.
All right. Communicate that to Nox. Looks like they were last seen within your territory. My squad would like to assemble there, and then backtrace the next steps in order to find whoever's responsible for this.
Like I said, you're welcome to walk into plague-ridden territory if you want.
Understood.
But you will be going under quarantine if you seem any threat upon return.
He'll pass that information to Saris. We have the option to meet, but if we go into disease territory, they might not want to let us out.
Get symptoms. Get as many symptoms as you can. Let me know any preventative measures that you might need that you don't already have. We'll collect them on their way down.
Okay.
And I'll indicate to Ronan that we need to go ahead and start moving, and then give me the list. We'll let you know when we'll let you know when I have a location to meet up at.
I'll database you any pertinent information.
And then I will.
Does
follow
Knox
through with
have
with the various other people that I need to contact. Say, okay, go time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Does Knox have any actual like medical details on this plague that might be helpful for us?
If you ask him that,
Yeah.
maybe it's better just to show you. He says as he starts to pull up a data slate.
All right.
He pulls up a data slate and sort of seems to fish into a nearby server and pull up information. And he sort of flips it around and shows you a video footage of it's a time lapse of one of these plague victims. And it shows a woman who seems to have come down with a light fever and a cough. That over the course of what, according to the time lapse, is about 48 hours, deteriorate rapidly into lesions, boils, pustules, black, like standard rapid onset black plague style, and then die, and then get back up.
Okay.
As bony growths start to sort of sprout out of their body and like almost like corkscrewing horns, and their flesh sort of becomes palpable and spreads, and you get a hideous disease-ridden monster that begins to stand up. And as it stands, you note very specifically there is a triangular pattern of 3 boils that seems to have formed on its forehead that you note is a standard
Reminiscent
iconography of the icon of Nurgle.
Right, because Nurgle's got the 3 circles with the arrows in between them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's horrifying and also fairly confirmational. Right.
Roll me Medicae real quick.
Do I get any bonus dice for having seen a sort of full-scale cycle of this?
Yeah, okay. Roll me Medicae. You'll get an extra 2 dice on this.
Cool. That is, I'm going to do a reroll for another Wrath. 11 icons. Nice.
You immediately identify this as the documented existence of the Plague of Unbelief.
Plague of Unbelief. Okay.
It is so called because it is known to. It originated during the Age of Apostasy, which was during a particularly dark period in the Imperium's history, during the rule of one Goje Van Dyer and his attempted reign of blood across the entirety of the Imperium. But it was called the Plague of Unbelief the Curse of Unbelief, because it spreads most easily to those whose faith is not strong enough. It is being a psychoactive disease. It is most easily resisted by those who hold strong in their faith to the God Emperor and to all else. It latches onto weakness. The disease itself, while it spreads in a lot of the same vectors that a regular disease does, it spreads more easily and more virulently through populations whose faith, whose morale, whose center of being has been shaken, which typically causes that to work even faster.
Right.
It is a shock and awe disease that is designed to weaken populace's faith by its presence, which then, by virtue of that weakening, spreads itself faster. As individuals find their faith shaken by the destruction and the plague spread amongst them, they themselves cause the spread even further. It is treatable before the victim has started to fall to the first before basically the first like signs of necrosis have set in. But once the body begins to putrefy, it's time to burn it.
Okay. He'll communicate those details of what he knows then to Knox so that they are well informed on how to handle this outbreak in their territory. And then send a data burst of that same information to Saris. If you can pick up anything along the way that strengthens your faith and conviction, that's probably going to be one of your better defenses. And then, of course, face masks and shit.
Yeah.
Don't let them bite you. I assume standard kind of zombie rules apply.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'll stop by the apothecary to get some face masks and a signifier or two.
And stay close to Tina, I guess. Yeah, this really justifies my my character decision last week to buy a 4th point of willpower.
Right. That was mostly a joke. Do I think that I might be able to acquire a signifier to come with us?
Honestly, you have connections with a Sister of Battle convent.
Yeah. So,
if you requested, for instance, an imagifier, to journey among you, or a Sister Hospitaller, they legitimately might be able to provide a decent amount of protection.
So actually, yeah, while we're walking, I'm gonna call the convent and be like, and it's call the Mother Superior, Sister Superior,
Sister Superior,
Sister Superior, Sister Superior. This is Interrogator Artinos. We are facing a plague of the kind that preys on the faithless. It would be, in an effort to stamp it out and rid ourselves of the cause, I would request if there were any imagifiers that could join us on our march to sustain our faith against the disease.
There's a momentary pause. Roll me an influence test real quick. You have decent influence.
Do I have any? I have 2. Do I have any bonuses to this for previous interactions?
Roll me an extra +2.
1.
You only need the one. You want to roll the wrath? Just to see.
Yeah, I'll spend the wrath. 3.
Okay. Yeah. So we have 3 successes. I shall, after a moment, I shall send along one of our most faithful to bear the icon of the Emperor in your presence and ward off the machinations of the enemy.
It's gonna make Remy itch, but I think it'll help the rest of us.
Is there anything in the Medicae Primaris, like with the Magister of the Ordo, that
you could probably get some,
call in?
you could probably get some incense sensors and other things to like try and help stave off. And try.
Is that something that would get stationed in Mortis Veritas territory, or that we would actually bring with us?
You could absolutely just bring like an incense, like the like iconic
the sensor that swings back and forth with
swings back and forth and with smoke.
You
Yeah,
just have them send down a skull drone or 2 with a sensor attached to it.
Yeah. Can he try and requisition something like that to get designated to his location?
Roll me your influence.
I think this is the right button.
So I'm going to show up in Mortis Veritas territory.
5 and a glory if it's a success.
With an orc,
and
a Sister of Battle, holding an icon of a saint, a Death Watch Marine, and
a pair of servo skulls.
2 Eldar. 2 Eldar and a pair of servo skulls holding sensors. And a bunch of face masks.
Yep. And yeah, you get the response back from the Medicaid from the Megos Biologus that she will send down a pair of a pair of incense servitors to support your location.
Thank you. And he'll definitely send off the data burst to her as well of, hey, we have, you know, that thing that we're supposed to do where like we're basically the Imperial CDC up in here? There's a demon plague. So I've handled it as much as I can on my end. But if you want to keep an eye out, might not be a terrible idea.
And with all those preparations being made, we're going to go on our break real quick.
Those of you watching live, please stay tuned for these first messages. Remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back. A
Dinosaur
story.
I've got dinner.
That was a hell of a thing.
Yep.
So, we rejoin our party as everyone begins to coalesce into a group.
Coagulate.
Begins to
I'm a
corrugate.
platelet cell.
A short while before all the groups got together, a pair of servo skulls drifted down to Aristarchus. Each of them, like the floating top half of the skull with the impulsor lips, and then just a big metal chain dangling down from each of them that has a small ball full of incense.
Do I recognize
there's-
either of them?
They're not either of the ones that have worked in your suite,
Okay. Do they have names?
probably, but they're more like designations. Like,
Okay.
Reginald and Stewart.
No.
I don't know why Reginald is my go-to. Is like my first go-to name for a skeleton, but it always is.
It's a good name.
it goes all the way back to Baron Monfort.
Yeah, all the way back to Baron Montfort. Yeah.
I was going to say it brings back memories.
Reginald.
I'm not sure if they're good or bad memories, but it brings back
Yeah,
memories.
they are definitely memories.
Mhm.
If any, in lieu of more direct designates, he's going to call them Asclepiades and Herophilus.
Works for me.
Okay.
But is Scleppy at ease?
I mean, he's
Look,
at rest.
our Eddie's
Rest.
sclep all over the place.
And then shortly after, a woman in the full garb of the Battle Sisters of the Order of the Blazing Howl, the bright orange hair sort of reaching out from under a hood that she wears over her eyes, as she, like, the hood is pulled low enough that you cannot see the upper half of her face. As she just walks, there is like a bolt gun at the back of her waist, but she is holding this icon of the saint in both hands, as she sort of just walks, and is the entire time just sort of lowly singing a hymn.
I imagine
And she
she
just
would
sort of-
arrive with me, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But she doesn't acknowledge or speak to anyone else. She just continuously sings this hymn as she trails behind you.
As I'm presenting the rest of you with masks, I say nothing unless someone asks about it.
Who are you? I'm gonna ask her. I think I'm here.
Yeah, you would have come.
She
with
does
me,
not
yeah.
respond.
Yeah.
She just keeps singing.
She's not going to respond. This is a sister Magifier from the convent. What was it?
Yeah, the Order of the Blazing Howl, the convent
Yes,
up in the
a
Hawk.
sister
Yeah.
Magifier from the Order of Blazing Howl. She's here to reinforce the spirits of those of us who may be susceptible to the plague that we are going to be dealing with, or that has been in the area.
Oh, Tina sounds doubtful about this.
I don't think it's something that you need to worry about, Tina.
Just gonna.
Tina, it's a bit like this. You know how in your tribe,
Huh?
the faster they go and the louder they yell, the better they are at fighting?
Yeah.
This is like that for us, but singing.
Right. Speaking of, I got the buggy fixed.
Good.
With
Oh, congratulations.
Define
cushions.
fixed.
I was going to say, Aristarchus has a very clear idea in his mind what fixed looks like.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how that
No.
meshes up with reality.
So you're saying the basket on the front is gone now.
No, it's got cushions. So it's
That's
protected.
not fixed.
That is fixed.
No,
Before
it's
we get
still a little death cage.
Before we get too sidetracked, we do have an enemy of all of us and life itself to deal with.
Yeah.
Sure do. let's not concern ourselves with any new situations that have occurred and just move ahead and deal with that.
All right. Which way?
I don't fucking know.
Ronan. Also,
Ronan.
this for the rest of you. This is Ronan.
The Eldar just has the hood pulled up and the black face mask concealing most of their lower
Oh,
face.
hello. Are you part of Miss Laurel's family? Hmm?
Something like that.
She will give him a look.
Who, Ronan or Aristarchus?
Ronan.
Oh, okay.
As Ronan very dryly, something like that.
Excellent. Well, it's nice to meet you, Uncle Ronan. Hmm.
This is life.
I love playing
This is
serious
something that's
characters with the
happening.
least serious party. It's so good.
And I assume our sergeant is also here with us.
Yeah. As you are preparing, Hyphratia sort of looks around. When things get serious, I feel like the majority of us are going to be breaking off to handle various threats. So keep eyes open.
Keep eyes opened and minds closed. As
I was planning
firmly
on
as
walking
possible.
blindfolded, but sure, now that you mention that, sure, well, good plan.
If being sardonic is your defense against the enemy, you're doing very good.
Hold on a second. What's the saving? What counts as a saving
Aristarchus
throw?
leans over to Remy.
Willpower?
Remy,
I mean, you want to roll willpower or what's the actual like defensive stat? Conviction or
Sure.
resolve?
What? Resolve seems to. Oh, good. That's right. I'm so good at resolve. Okay.
Hey,
wow.
it's impressive.
I feel like
I
whatever.
feel like he gets
Oh,
it
good.
out. Well, if
And that's when Aristarchus leans over and goes, Remy, how long do you think it's going to be before Uncle Ronan invites us to their family dinner?
Oh no.
I'm gonna murder you. Swear to God.
To who?
Nobody at all. That was a non-specific statement that had no bear. Can we just walk, please?
No, I think we definitely can.
Put your mask
would-
on and walk.
Would you like Steppy Eddies or Hierophilus to be on your side?
Why do I have a side?
Well, yeah, no, we're going to be walking in a group, and we're going to have one on the left and one on the right. And I wasn't sure if either of these lovely little fellas had caught your attention.
I legitimately could not give less of a shit if my life depended upon it.
So, interestingly enough, it just might.
Aristarchus, I don't know that anyone other than you can tell the difference between the two.
All right.
And
That one's got a
coincidentally,
Hero, you're on the left. Skleppy, you're on the right.
great. Wonderful. On board with this plan.
Let's go.
Condescending little slim. Okay, let's go, shall we?
I was just laughing behind Aristarchus.
Okay, Remy will be the first to die, and then.
So Ronan leads the way.
Fucking glasses planet. I don't give a shit anymore.
I mean, hey, if we wait long enough.
Ronan leads the way, and after a while of walking, he sort of holds up the group and says, "We're beginning to enter the areas that have been most affected by this plague. You will begin to see its effects not only upon what bodies we might find, but also upon the environment itself. Masks, firmly in place and steal your faith if you have it.
I'm just silently reciting any and all mantras that I have in my brain as
Yep.
I draw pistol and sword.
I have the girl from Ipanema playing in my brain.
Very appropriate.
Blair's reciting the one that Aristarchus gave her.
Aristarchus, who has put another mask over his regular mask, has taken up a position slightly outside of our Imedrifier's eye line and pulls the shotgun out, hopefully where she doesn't see it.
Considering that her eyes are covered. Outside of her eye line is basically anywhere that's not immediately in front of her.
Look, she's here to help, and he doesn't want to accidentally piss her off.
While you're going, I would like everybody to make me a resist corruption test. While this is going on, because you are near both Tina and this Imagifier and the sensors, each of you will get a 9-die bonus to this roll.
Hot damn.
As long as all 3 of those are in place, you are getting
Wow.
9 dice in additional bonus.
So this is a 9-die modifier to our normal resolve roll. I take it.
Yeah, or to your normal resist corruption roll, which I believe is basically your
Yeah.
What?
So it's 9 bonus.
I see.
I'm gonna say
Where
Oh,
is
9
that?
bonus die. It's on the attributes page.
Okay.
It goes conviction, corruption, resist, core is what mine says.
Oh, I am on the right one. Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna say
Why did that not?
It didn't add all your
Indeed.
extra dice. Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Did you click out of the box?
I
Sometimes you have-
did.
Hmm.
Okay,
You
there we
should
go.
have. I was gonna say you should have an adjusted rating there.
so. With my
6.
with my 11, but a complication on the wrath die, I'm gonna say that my complication is Sarah's can't think of any mantras right now, so
Yeah.
she's not stealing her mind directly, which may be problematic later.
I mean, Remy's got 12 in a complication.
Yeah,
Damn, Remy.
Flair also has a complication.
3
Ooh, I got 7.
complications.
And no complications.
6.
For once, Aristarchus might not be complicating things.
That seems unlikely.
Isn't
I
it
know.
nice when it's someone else?
But the dice.
But see, you might not have your own complications, but you might be the reason for our complications.
Oh, that's actually a very good point.
So, as you are maneuvering through this region into this section of the Underhive, the steel and rockcrete and other materials that have been used to build this Underhive begin to be infected, as if by a disease of their own. As you look, you can see portions of the steel have been grown over with a pustule-like growth that seems to be creeping along some of the walls. You see tendrils of flesh sort of spanning out in different directions. I don't know how many of you have ever played or watched any of The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like that, as the fungus sort of spreads over walls and buildings. As you look around, and you can just see sections and corners of buildings that seem to be growing over with various colonies of fleshy material, some of which seem to be emitting spores, as you all more tightly secure your gas masks and make sure to not breathe heavily in their vicinity. You find yourselves looking to whatever it is that gives you strength, whether it be faith, whether it be sheer stubbornness, whether it be cold analytical logistics, or whether it be something else that gives you strength. You all manage to resist gaining any corruption, both under your own power and with the assistance of those around you. The incense from the sensors seems to almost waft away any attempted spores that try to draw near you. The buzzing of flies is drowned out by the rising pitch of the Amagifier's song, and the sheer confidence that Tina exudes seems to quicken your step in moments where hesitation would be death. But you make your way through this area as plague begins to rise. And as you look around, occasionally you see what seem like bodies. And whenever you think that one of them might be coming your way, you hear a gunshot and it falls over. As you sort of look around, you see that Ronan is keeping an eye out and tends to be gunning down some of these himself, but also you see that Hyphrasia is sort of keeping a bolt pistol at hand and guns down anything that begins to seem to move in your direction.
Yeah, and if either of them don't get it first, I do with my pistol. Because that Edakarn pistol is in hand and ready.
And occasionally, without even interrupting her hymn, the battle sister will draw a bolt gun and fire at anything that comes near. As the group of you conserve ammunition and prepare to move further in, the combined effort eventually leads you to the site of what could only have been the initial ritual. As you look around, you see there is a tracery of blight that sort of circles around this round, almost a ventilation control area. It almost looks like this was a place for handling some of the environmental stabilizers for this area of the Underhive. And the center of this room has been overgrown with this sort of cancerous blight that has grown over the ground and grown into that iconic three-eyed pustule shape that is reminiscent of the icon of Grandfather Nurgle. The ground around it is littered with the bloated and torn remnants of bodies that have become a slurry. As what seems to be the remnants of several significantly larger humanoid figures, likely some of the Chosen's genetically modified warriors, can be vaguely picked out in the pile of mess that makes this area. You've definitely likely found the last known location, which Ronan will confirm, as he says over the comms. This would be where the sorcerer committed his most recent blasphemy.
No shit.
His trail leading back follows this way, he says, as he indicates to a door that has been mostly grown over.
Is there any way we can safely open that door?
I mean, you could probably burn
that's
it
what
open.
being able to see looks like.
Clean glasses.
Uh-huh.
I recommend
What's the
fire.
world look like?
Right. Can I screw up the glasses
Fire?
again?
I'll pull out my burner.
Steps back, everybody, please.
Thank you, Tina.
I'll head over to the door and flamethrower it.
Roll me an attack with your burner.
Okay. 5.
It has a defensive 1. It's a door.
I would hope so.
Would you like to shift that one exalted icon for extra damage?
Yeah. Let's
Right,
get
roll me
through this
damage.
faster.
Uh, 10 damage is plenty. As you sort of lay in with the burner, all of you, even through the rebreathers that you're wearing, catch the smell of burning flesh. It is not a pleasant smell. Not by a long shot.
No, but it's a fairly sterile one
Yeah.
comparatively.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about it. As the growth that has gone over this door slowly blackens and falls to earth in a rain of ash and grit. Eventually, the blackened steel beneath begins to reveal itself as Aristarchus, you're probably going to have to interface with this door to try and open it because you imagine the controls have probably been ruined.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, once it's cooled off enough, he'll go over and begin to quietly apply some sacred machine oils to the various nodes and nexuses, nexi, and then begin to confer with the machine spirit and see if he can't get this door open.
Tell me a tech test.
Okay. $12.
Whoa.
And a glory.
This door will follow you into battle.
This door is my new
This
patron.
door owes you a life debt.
Just snaps itself off its hinges and starts walking after us.
Yeah.
As you commune with this machine spirit, it is weak. It is very weak. The powers that have driven into this place have practically driven it feral, but you are able to communicate with it enough that it is able to open the door with you pleading with it, and eventually the door sort of slowly, painfully groans open. And
Aristarchus will just reach out and pat one of the hinges. Good boy, Portus.
And you see beyond a darkened tunnel. It seems like there are lights on in this place, but the shadows seem to cling. As you look, the lumens that would normally keep this hallway well lit seem to barely provide any defense against the encroaching dark. As you look ahead and everything is just black with small pinpricks of light like stars in the night sky.
Well, forward away then, I guess.
All right.
We're still in the ritual room, right? Shawnee?
Yes.
Before we actually go through that door and leave, I just want to look around really quick and see if there's any icons that are left behind that might still be channeling psychic energy.
I mean, there's the literal icon of Grandfather Nurgle in the floor.
I mean, more things that are more easily just destroyed. I mean, that also would work, but if there's anything else, just that.
There's nothing else that seems to be like a physical object.
Okay, I'm just gonna take my sword, and scar through the icon. Just 2 strokes, just to disrupt it a little bit, if possible.
I feel like I should indicate the scale of this. The icon is the size of a truck.
Yeah, absolutely.
It takes a little bit more than just 2 strokes.
I mean, just to scar the icon. I'm not trying to completely destroy it.
Yeah. You carve across one of the 3 eyes, basically, and make your mark and continue on your way.
And that's entirely just because, as far as I'm aware, rituals, the integrity of the icon has power, even when they're chaos icons. So, damaging it even a little bit should be enough, in her mind at least, should be enough to do something to it.
It can't hurt.
Yeah.
Except it can definitely hurt.
I mean, it can 100% hurt.
It's 40k. That icon might bite you back.
Is there a role I could make for to more completely depower it?
You imagine the most accurate way of depowering is to kill the sorcerer who gave it power.
That's what I figure. Yep. Yeah, just scarring it, and then let's go.
But you make your way through this darkened tunnel. And eventually, Ronan leads you out into a This tunnel winds for a while, and Ronan seems to be guiding you through it as if he can see through the darkness where you cannot, as he seems to lead you past passages and through doorways that would rightly be a maze. But his eyes appear to be able to pierce the veil as he looks through and leads you down a path with surety. And eventually, the darkness gives way. And you find yourselves emerging out of, as if in a more natural environment that was not made entirely of steel, as if out of the side of a mountain. As you emerge from the darkness of the cavernous tunnels behind you, you find yourselves staring down a massive slope of steel down to an area of stone and gravel that seems to be looked down over an enormous fortress. And as you look, you can see this almost looks like a hidden passageway one might take to arrive from a different angle. As you look down, and you can see the exterior structures that exist outside of this fortress, as if the town around a castle exists and circles it. And the two sides that you can see from your angle are both ablaze, as orcs invade from the side that you would point on to your right, and the forces of the Imperium march in from what you would call on the left. And before you, you see a pathway that walks through some of these buildings and leads to what could only be described as a defiled church that stands between the outer walls of this fortress, or that stands between the outer walls of this fortress and the town beyond it. And as you look down, you see, as forces spread in all directions to confront the invading armies that stand between you, there are still a number of cultists and servants and other enemies that inhabit the area that you would need to pass through, either to reach that church or to reach the fortress beyond it. And you can see in the distance, you are far enough away that not even the Amagafires singing would give your position away, especially in the cramped, tight steel halls that you find yourself in. But you do see motion and activity as you look down from your hill.
What are our venues of approach then?
Primarily, this area appears to be fairly difficult to pass. It is definitely the kind of place that is a direct and out of the way passage. There is a primary, it's not quite a road, it's more of just like a walking path that leads down this sloped hill and into the midst of these buildings that walks up to that church and the fortress behind it. Several buildings in the way. You could theoretically try and climb your way around, but the area is built in such a way as to be out of sight and out of mind of most of the surrounding environment. There are high either walls or piles of rubble, depending on where you're looking, that sort of help block the line of sight as you descend from the rest of the battlefield. And the entire area appears to be largely obscured in large part. And you imagine this is how Janus can journey without being seen through this place until he desires to be. Your passage would be largely obscured until you reach the town on the outskirts of this fortress.
All right, well, it ain't gonna fall down by itself.
Nope. Tina is about ready to
I mean,
start running.
How will we know if we don't give it time to fall down?
Oh, well, if you look at the
I'm
architecture
joking. Let's
on-
go.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, Aristarchus, we just don't have the time.
No, I understand.
Let's get a move on. And I'm going to indicate towards the church first.
So has Tina like taken off in a sprint at this point then?
Yes. Look,
You
It's
said get a
there.
move on.
yeah.
And you were told
There's a
church,
path-
which you
there's
can
a path
identify.
Yep. There's
Yep.
a path down. It's a building with the spike on the top.
I
It's
am perfectly happy to let Tina be the first one in.
Ow.
Dang.
You okay, Jeremy?
Yeah, do yourself a favor. Do not put the word Barbie into Google searches right now.
Oh
Okay.
no! What does it do?
It blinds you.
Well, now I have to do it.
But, yeah,
I was about to
it's
say.
guaranteed that all of us are going to go blind ourselves right now.
That's fine. You go ahead and do it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Oh, okay.
You can. I'm reading about Lehman Russ.
Jesus Christ! Not having any idea that was about to happen.
Yeah, just the big, like, bright pink flashing
Holy
sparkles. Yeah.
fuck!
Nothing happened to me.
Did you capitalize? That might
Oh.
be the difference maker.
You don't have to
Oh, I didn't
capitalize it.
capitalize.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hang on.
Wild.
My God.
And now you all get to see what my personality looks like.
See, I just
Visual
got
representation.
I just got like some light pink sparkles, and I'm also using dark theme on my browser, so maybe that
That might have helped.
That might have made a difference, yeah. Because I just had a random thing in I do this from time to time. Like, huh? I wonder what this is, and I went to go look up to see what the budget for the new movie is. So I put in Barbie budget, and I got Budge in before it started before it started assaulting my eyes. Fuck me, Jesus Christ! All right, sorry.
No worries.
So
I was concerned there for a second.
I mean,
as we're making our descent, Lorwell is going to pull out her monocular scope and begin seeing if she can identify potentially higher priority targets amongst the masses of bodies.
So that will, honestly, your magnocular scope will let you get a view of what the battlefield looks like. So I will allow you to see it before you actually join it. I'm going to move you all over to the battle map.
Yay!
Ooh.
So you can see that there are a number of cultists positioned in various places throughout.
I'm going to reload because I saw it was a black screen.
Give it a sec. Let me make sure vision's turned on because it should be.
It is. I can see stuff.
Same.
If you're
I like
zoomed
how
in
if
too
you're
far,
not
you
looking
might
at-
just be in a black part of the screen.
Yeah.
though.
Oh no, I'm zoomed all the way out.
Okay.
I'm at 30%.
I like how
you
if
should
you
be able
look
to
at
see
this
stuff.
without context, and you're like, "Wow, who is that ginormous
Miss
person?"
Woman,
next to
right?
everyone else?"
Yeah. I had that a little moment there. It's like, wait, is that the Ultramarine?
I was
And
gonna
then I
say,
read the
man,
name.
Hyfratia is fucking massive.
all I want to do is see you turn into a giant.
A
woman.
giant
Oh, I have a mob
Giant
with me.
woman.
Yeah, that is Blair's devotee mob, which is part of her kit now and has been here just quietly,
It
not
has
saying a word.
it has a big
Cool.
like red square around it.
There's a big
No,
red
that's
square
our
around your
landing
deployment
zone.
zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's your
okay.
deployment zone.
Deployment zone.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you can sort of see with your magnoculars before you actually descend into this area. There are a number of cultists that are sort of spread out among the buildings. But two individuals that you do mark out as you sort of look around. You can see an individual who is more impressively dressed and seems to be calling shots to a number of the people who are sort of walking around. Seems to be one of their leaders.
I like that the map you've chosen for us includes a Christmas tree in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I still just see a black screen.
Oh,
Hang
no.
on, let me make sure that you have vision.
Does Laurel have vision? Yeah.
Yeah, I have restarted and
I
exited.
was gonna say,
Did
As
Barbie
well.
Julia,
blind you?
Julia, could you see your token at all, or
I
still
can
just-
see my token.
Okay, yeah, it's
But I
probably
can see
just a
nothing
vision
else.
thing. Yeah,
It's a vision thing then. Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't even be able to see the token.
youngest Avenger.
The I will say that the stream observer can't see shit, but
If I move you around, do you get to see any more of the map?
I saw like singular tiles, like right before the
That's
token
interesting.
hit them.
Yeah, so you'll just have to sort of sonar your way
That-
around.
Right, yeah.
That is a very interesting problem that is happening. Because you should
Laurel's
have the
out here
same vision as
going-
literally everybody else.
if you
No,
turn
I got-
off if you turn off the lighting on the map, that might fix it.
There is no lighting
It
on the
just-
map.
It doesn't have lighting.
No,
Then
I mean,
turn
the setting- Oh.
turn
Hang on.
on the universe.
There we go.
Yeah, turn
mode
on
or
universal
whatever it's
lighting, there
called.
it is.
Aha.
There, I can see things now.
Hooray!
Oh boy.
Ta-da.
What's funny, Jack, is you said youngest Avenger, and because I'm used to the comics where
Right.
Vision is 100% not the youngest
He's
Avenger, it's
youngest.
like, is there an Avenger named Token?
I mean, at this point, probably.
There should be.
He's the token Avenger. He never shows
so-
up in any of the Avengers comic books, though. He always shows up in team ups with other,
Right.
so he can be the token Avenger who's
Right.
present
He,
in
does,
the storyline.
he
right?
doesn't actually do anything. He just has the Avengers symbol on his shirt. Not even a superhero, just a dude in the background.
Right.
I'm the
Who's-
intern.
I feel
Says-
I
Says,
feel like
"Don't
the
piss
token
me off, or I'm
Avenger.
gonna call Tony.
I feel like the token Avenger is literally the Avenger because I know there is a hero who is just named the Avenger.
Yes and no. He's not. Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like the Token Avenger is probably. Oh no, there's an easy answer to that. The Token Avenger is Jarvis,
There you go.
not the
So-
AI, the actual butler.
Right. The
Yes.
the human ass butler who is only occasionally a Skrull.
That's gonna be the name of my vampire's retainer in a game I'm in, but his
Human ass
actual name
butler?
is no Jarvis, but his actual
Okay.
name's like Joshua or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So Laura will point out the two high priority targets.
You can
and-
see near the back there is an individual who seems to be calling shots, and one who definitely has the look of a rogue psyker.
Yep. Would it be the one
um,
perchance named Rogue Psyker?
It would indeed be the one named Rogue Psyker.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I will let I'm not going to give any battle orders because I'm going to assume that everyone around me is competent enough to understand kill them.
And as you go, there are numerous other areas that might be dangerous upon your approach, and in various points, the rest of your group splits off to handle things. The Imagifier stays at the door and sort of turns and points their icon back at the hallway and continues chanting, seemingly to hold off any potential chaos influence from the outside that might try and catch up at your heels.
That's
You know, not a bad idea.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Whatever keeps him away from me.
As she continues to chant, she just draws the bolt gun from the back of her belt and just holds it at the ready.
and shoots Remy.
Listen, I'm just saying, if this bitch shoots me, if this bitch kills me, it's only because she drew first. Because don't think that's not on his mind. Huh? No, she must have died in the conflict when nobody was paying attention.
Why do you have a big Astartes icon? Sororitas icon, I mean. Don't, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Spoils of war.
And
I found it in the closet.
The Hyphrasia sort of disappears off to one side, presumably to kill a large number of other things that might get in your way.
Yep.
Probably.
She's doing her thing, man. She's just living her life, staying moisturized, staying in her lane.
With blood
I didn't
The
say-
bloodline.
I didn't say
and
what.
other viscera.
But eventually, you come to this point where you arrive on the battlefield with your primary group. The lot of you plus Minion plus Blair's mob of devotees,
All right.
which are mostly there to get in the way.
Rofelis, you stay close on me, but behind me. All right, boys. You
The
listening?
servo skulls do stay with you primarily because they can't fight.
Right. All they do is hang out. They're moral support.
Tina has chosen to go first.
Yes, I have chosen to be
assume
right
we're-
at the front of this box.
Yeah, I assume we can deploy.
Because
Yeah,
that's what
you can position yourselves as you like within said box.
because that's where because Tina's running in. It's what she does.
I assume we have to be aware of the buildings and stuff.
Yes, the buildings are large enough to block line of sight and, moving through them.
And
But
now-
not
Are
the
they,
tables
but what if
and
they were
stuff.
invisible buildings?
Well, then they probably wouldn't even be on the map. Let's be honest.
You'd still run into them.
Maybe. They could also be intangible buildings too, though.
Also,
You
Then
can
that is
take cover
different.
behind the tables and piles of things. They won't block your vision, but you can take cover behind them if you need to.
Also, theoretically, we should all be fully rested and healed, and not some of us, depending on how you're counting it, with one wound left.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm fixing it.
Oh yeah,
Yep,
I
yep,
should
yep, yep,
fix
yep.
this.
Also, my
There are
My
eight
stuff's all
there are
wrong.
8 devotees in Blair's mob. They function like a regular mob, which means if it gets over any damage will potentially just kill one of them if it gets over their damage threshold.
Oh,
So they are a kind of effective but not super effective unit.
Backup squad.
all right.
The kind of thing that Tina might have if she reaches tier 3 and becomes a knob.
goals. Hashtag goals.
Sorry. Just so
Alrighty.
For when I move over to the map, Blair is counting up. The rest of us are counting down.
Okay.
Generally.
Because
Yep.
For audience purposes. All right.
I'm assuming everybody is where they want to be for their deployment.
Yes.
Uh,
I'm gonna say I don't see a bar anywhere inside the deployment square, Remy. So you're out of luck.
you don't know what these buildings are. Oh,
Inside
no.
the deployment square specifically.
I mean, this is kind of inside the deployment square.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
I appreciate that Remy is for some reason going closer to the enemy.
I know.
Maybe he's got things he can do that none of us know about.
That he's certainly not going to do in view of certain people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
just
doesn't-
let them pass you and then do it. Sort of hang back.
Anyway, yes, I think we're all in position.
All right. So, as is the case, because not only do the enemy not have the drop on you, in fact, you have the drop on them. Who would like to go first?
Me.
Obvious choice is obvious.
Tina called it.
Yes.
Did we drop somebody?
No.
Oh,
If you
okay.
raise your hand, it switches you in
Oh, does it?
the.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
What?
It
If you raise your if you use the raise handed zoom,
Oh.
but
Use that
Zoom-
little icon, it
but
messes
Zoom
everything
will,
up.
Zoom will raise your hand if it sees that you've raised your hand. Is the thing. You don't have to
for
hit
too
the
long,
button.
yes. Yeah.
Where's Ray's hand?
I just wanted to say,
reactions.
I think it was great that I saw 3 people immediately go.
And look down at reactions.
It's like
and
I
you'll
want to see if it
start
works it for
spinning,
me.
And then yeah.
Hold on, I have to actually get it bigger because
I was gonna
remember
say, I don't see shit.
You
I
can turn off-
I thin it out and put it to the side of my screen so I can. type
Anyway,
it.
Tina's murdering people.
You can also
Yes!
turn off recognize hand gestures, which I've just now learned.
Yeah, it's not spinning.
Yeah, you might not have recognized hand gestures turned on.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. Yep.
I have to turn this on so I can screw up our window order.
Well,
There we go.
See, that's the thing. It only screws
I
it up.
didn't screw it up. I didn't actually screw it up.
I'll say I don't know if it'll screw it up for anybody but you, because for me it only moves me. But
All right, it moves you for us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I would like, as I am running forward, my speed is 6. I am running straight back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna run over to this one. If I can, I am selecting. Why won't it let me select my token? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna run up right here, and I'm gonna swing at that one with
That makes
my
sense.
sledgehammer.
What's our current
Right.
glory and ruin total, by the way?
Oh right, yeah. Let me drag those over.
I don't think we have any glory.
No, we've got some.
No, we've got like 3.
We're on
Do
3
we?
glory. We're on 3 glory and
Yeah.
11 ruin.
Okay.
Yay!
Excellent. That's a great ratio.
So here's my question. Does the little hand symbol on the thing, does it like send any other kind of notification? Because otherwise, if you're not noticing somebody raising your hand, why are you going to notice a little tiny hand icon in the corner of
You
the
can
screen?
set it to chime. You can set it to chime when someone raises their hand.
If you want to be extra annoying,
Yeah. Otherwise, it just gives you a little hand icon in the corner of the screen. And it's just like
that is smaller than actually just raising your
it's smaller
hand.
than just raising your
Yeah,
hand.
but the moving the
It does-
video
yeah, moving
does.
the video also is
effective.
is
Okay,
kind
I
of
can see that.
grabbing attention. It might do more if you're not in gallery view too, but
All right.
Yeah. So
Swinging sledgehammer.
swing away.
Oh, that's a terrible roll.
And
Go on, you know you want to do it.
Yeah, I'll use a wrath. Let's re-roll that. 6. There we go.
There you go.
The better
and,
roll.
and a ruin. But you know.
that definitely hits. Their defense is only 2, so you can shift that 1 for extra damage if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see how squishy these guys are. 20.
Not that tough.
Excellent. Sort of pulverizes.
Just
4.
like a pancake. Turn him into a
Whoever they
sail
are.
cultist.
Yeah.
As Tina just sort of stomps forward,
like a-
rushing
just-
forward with the
just
sledgehammer,
Like
held over,
like a croquet mallet.
and just sort of underhand hooks the hammer around and catches the cultist in the jaw, and you just,
Yeah.
the rest of you just see a body backflip through the air.
That's my turn. I'm good now.
that's
Please
our
tell me
team.
there's an empty pair of shoes in front of Tina right now.
It's not empty. No,
Stevie.
the ankles broke off from the rest
Oh,
of the body.
okay. where did the inertia severance happen? You
Yeah.
know, right?
This is a pair of feet in shoes in front of Tina, and the rest of the body went flying.
All right,
Amazing.
well, the cult leader is going to go. As
And
the
surprise
cult
round.
leader begins, it uses its battle cry ability, for which begins on the first round of combat. Kneel before the dark gods.
No.
Which is going to target everyone who is within 15 squares,
Yeesh.
Just all of us.
which is all of you. So he's going to make an interaction attack, which I need to scrub up on because it's been so long since anyone even tried anything like that.
Ooh. I have a thing against these.
An inter attack.
Interotact.
Interact.
Interaction attacks. All right.
In Tesseract.
Interact.
Uh,
Interact attack.
all right. He is going to make an intimidation attack. The DN is going to be either your intimidation or your resolve, whichever is higher.
Do I get any bonus to my resolve? Because I've got 2 incense servo skulls with me.
You do get a +1 to your resolve.
All right. Puts me at a 4.
My intimidation is 5.
Nice.
3 in either case.
My intimidation, is 4.
Don't
What was
you
the
use
other
don't you
option?
use your
Fun fact, Jeremy.
Or
You're
resolve.
unaffected by this because of a specific keyword that you have.
Go.
does it? isn't your intimidation based off your strength, Tina?
Influence is using strength.
Influence. Okay.
Yeah. I get a bonus die to intimidation test, but that doesn't help with this.
So he has 5 successes.
Damn it.
Any of you whose DN would be 5 or less are
of us.
suddenly prone, with the exception of Remy, who is unaffected for
It
reasons.
was just like,
I like to think that he yells this. Remy's in the middle of lighting a cigarette.
yeah,
And just turns around to look, and everybody
What?
else is on their faces, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
I feel like
Guys,
that
get up.
counts for decrying the violence of authority.
yes. Does this count?
All right.
Yeah.
Um,
I assume that this person doesn't respect my position as an inquisitor, so my intimidation does get +1.
No.
I'm shocked. Shocked.
Shocked. I tell you, shocked.
Shocked to find there's gambling going on here.
You're winning, sir.
Thank you very much.
5, 6. As he steps around and is going to spend one of that ruin that you so kindly banked for me.
Heyo.
To use his ruin action, kill them all. To as a free action,
That
cause
seems
one
a
of the
little
other
broken.
cause
Oh,
one of
okay.
cause one of the other cultists
We all
to
just
make an attack.
die.
You're all
To
dead.
take-
All right.
To take a combat action immediately. So he will cause the cultist gunner off to the side over there to the right of Remy to take a shot at Laurel.
Since we're prone, doesn't that make it harder for him to hit us?
Good question. What does prone do for you for conditions?
What we're saying is this cultist leader is not tactically minded.
Not your defense is reduced by 2 if they're within 5 meters of you.
Otherwise, it doesn't do anything.
Increased by 1 if you're 6 or more.
Yep.
Technically, actually, yeah, that would make it harder to hit Laurel.
So,
So yeah, he would just shoot at Remy then.
The one non-prone person. Yep.
There we go. We were ducking under the gunfire. That's what we were doing.
Hit the dirt.
So the
I'm
ranged
just like-
cultist.
Well, I really hope he misses.
So do I, honestly.
I don't care if I take the damage. I just want him to miss for the reaction.
You just John Travoltaing your way around. It's like what?
So it's Neil. What the fuck? Look up. Pew.
like I said, you're just John Travoltaing.
What the fuck is your problem?
As the bullet flies,
Literally.
the cultist was about to just unleash a full auto burst, and then his gun gets one shot off that just goes wide, and then it jams. So he's like, "Fuck!"
Look, we're still wildly outnumbered, but this is the best start to combat I think we've ever had.
Fortunately, the cultist still gets to actually do his thing as
Right.
well, so he's going to shoot his auto pistol at Laurel, because I believe he's within 5. Yes, he's exactly within 5. So your defense is reduced by 2 because you're prone,
Oh,
unless your resolve or intimidation was higher than 5.
No, unfortunately, it was 4 because
Team-
that's the way it works.
Tina, did your minion go with you, or did it just stay behind?
A minion goes on
no,
its own
it's-
turn.
Oh, okay.
I now have a defense of 1, so do with that what you will.
Well, 4 successes will definitely hit you.
Yep, gonna be it.
They'll shift that into a bonus damage
Mhm.
for 9 damage.
Cool. I have a resilience of 10.
So no
Okay,
damage.
so it doesn't even hurt you. So the auto pistol shot, he fires at your prone form, but the armor that you're wearing deflects the shot wide, and he realizes that his gun is not big enough to get through that armor and takes that into his calculations. All right.
Ooh, I have fucked up.
Can I go?
yes,
I would
it is
like to
good
go,
enough.
actually.
Aw.
Well, Tina, as the last person to go, we'll go by answer rules here. Tina, who goes next?
Oh goodness. I mean, Remy just got shot.
Ah.
So-
Remember,
That's fair.
Laurel
That's
got
true.
shot.
Yeah,
That's
I got
true.
shot.
Saris,
Okay.
Okay.
you didn't get hurt.
No, but I have a cool thing I wanted to do, and it doesn't work. Other people might be looking my way.
Ah.
I to benefit you, you are currently still in my line of sight.
Yes, but you're on the ground. And there's a tree in between you and me, kind of.
There is kind of a tree between the two of you.
There is a Laurel between you and me.
Also that, who just got, I'm saying attention might be diverse. It's fine.
I'm trying to help you.
Ferris, go.
How does it reduce my speed to get up?
What does it take to get up from prone? Hang on. I just had the condition pulled up. Conditions.
Free action on your turn. If you stand up in this way, you can only use the standard movement option. You can't use combat options such as brace or aim. An adjacent character may use a simple action to help you stand up immediately when you're prone.
Someone else can pick you up on their turn as a simple action, or on your turn you can use a free action, but you can't do any other special movement types other than just your regular walk.
Cool.
You can't run, you can't brace, you can't aim, etc.
That's fine. I will stand up. I will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will introduce this cult leader to my sword.
All right, make your attack.
And now I'm not looking at Remy. Definitively.
Very much not.
4 to hit.
What is his defense? His defense is 3, so you exactly hit him because you need that. You need that
Yep.
exalted. You can't shift it.
Yep, that's fine. And I'm going to roll damage. Damage. So 16 damage. AP 4. AP minus 4.
Damn.
Ow.
Yeah.
He very dead.
So Saris stands up, rushes forward, her cloak billowing behind her, and implants sword through his face. So just a glowing force sword just erupts out of the back of his head. And then she doesn't move it as he falls off of it and just calls out, "Please kill these people." Because she doesn't really care enough to do a big for the Emperor bit right now.
The cultist in melee with Saris is going to go next for the enemies, and is going to use their shoot and stab ability. Which is the cultist takes no multi-action penalty on a turn where they elect to shoot their auto pistol and stab with their knife. So they're just going to try and shoot and stab at Saris.
That's nice for them.
Good for them. That's real.
Unfortunately, their shooting is not that great. 3 dice to try and hit.
Misses.
That's what I thought. Stab. 3 also misses.
And a complication.
So with that complication, if I may, I feel like I just sort of like lean out of I get a psychic tingling, I get a spidey sense. I sort of lean out of the way of the auto pistol and then bring the force sword up to deflect the stab and just either destroy it or knock it out of their hand.
Yeah, if you sort of lean back from the pistol as it fires past you and bring the blade up, their incoming knife hand is deflected off to the side and it twists and their hand is forced to let go as the weapon flies away.
Ting. Which is flavorful.
I will,
because
however,
I have parry on my sword. So
I will, however, spend another ruin to seize the initiative.
Yep.
Yes.
And have the rogue psyker go next.
Well, I knew those words were about to come out of your mouth.
So question.
They can't see me.
Sinicius is a free action. Does that mean I can do it whenever, or it's free action on my turn?
It is, I believe, free actions are things that you can do generally. Let me double
I'm
check.
pretty sure that's accurate.
Let me check the action economy real quick.
'Cause I didn't mention it when on my turn because killing the cultist leader wasn't going to require anything. But knowing that there was a psyker out here, I was going to be turning on my senescence at some point. I should know when I can.
Yeah, you can just turn it on. Yeah,
Cool.
just like you can just use it whenever you want. Only on
So-
your turn.
I don't know that it matters because is Deny the Witch a reaction or an action?
It is a
Action.
reflexive action.
It is an action. It is one you can do before if a power is occurring before your turn, but it does use your combat action for the round.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so after you've acted, you can no longer deny the witch until the next round
Correct.
comes around.
Gotcha. But I can turn on Senescience.
Yeah.
I turn on Senescience.
The rogue psyker. What's the range on Dark Flame? 20 meters? All right. Excellent.
So the whole map.
Yep. So the rogue psyker will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over
Oh,
here.
hi.
And it sort of brings its hands up as dark energy sort of crackles around them.
All right, then fortunately out of vision of people, I will use Deny the Witch.
All right.
Yes.
So deny the witch.
As I look over, I'm like,
So the DN on deny the witch is 2 plus the DN of the power you're trying to deny.
correct.
So if they successfully manage to pull off Dark Flame, because their
Then I
DN is
will roll, I assume.
then you will roll.
Right.
So
Would you also have to turn on Senescience for that?
no, not really.
Okay.
All it says is you have to be aware that a power is being used. I assume as dark mat starts crackling around
there's a
them,
visual.
I am
You-
aware
like-
there is a power being used.
Yeah, if you can see a psyker doing their thing, you're aware the power is being
Good.
used.
Okay, cool. I just want to check. I didn't know how it's like you don't see it until it's too late, kind of thing.
So they're going to try and manifest Dark Flame. They successfully manifest. The DN on Dark Flame is normally 7, so the DN to deny it is going to be 9.
9. All right. Well, we will see how this goes. It might not go well.
It does mean that they can only shift one icon.
Which is not enough to get any of the boosts on Dark Flame.
Yeah. Wait. What? Nope. That wasn't the
that
thing.
doesn't have your. That
No,
doesn't
I
have
clicked the
your
wrong thing. I clicked the wrong thing.
That doesn't have your thing set in.
Man, I was really
Yeah,
hoping for
click
9 icons on
damage roll.
one die, though.
And
Yeah,
not
yeah, you
I
can-
clicked the damage roll and not the psychic mastery test.
But to be fair, those are confusing because they're in the same line.
Right.
It's just the
Yeah,
blue
it's the
one
blue
is
die.
cast and the red one is
That's
damaged.
also really bad, but I will. You know what? Sure.
Use the ruin.
Spin a
Because
wrath.
I mean, it could go well.
You
You
can-
good?
You can.
Oh,
You
Damn.
can.
Okay,
You can
Damn
spend a
it.
glory to roll more, or
I was about to say, do you want to spend some glory to add
Yeah,
extra
I will
dice to
give
that?
it. I will give it a try.
How many glory can you spend?
Much as the pool has. There's 3 in the pool right now.
I will take
all 3.
two.
Take all 3.
Take all 3. All right.
Take all
Yeah,
3.
do it, do it, do it.
So I'm just going to roll 3d6
three,
then.
Yeah, roll 3 more dice. If you get 1, 4, 5, or 6 in there, you got a 4 in there.
That's-
So I just
Well
look
done.
over and see it,
Well done.
and it's what is the? It's just that sort of like the look slightly annoyed, lips pursed thing.
Yeah. So
And it just fades away.
I
Yeah,
like
so
to think
the-
that if they were closer, you would have just flicked your lit cigarette into
Right?
their face.
Yeah, so
Bad.
the
No.
the psyker sort of begins to channel dark energies as it prepares to summon a burst of dark flame in the midst of your group, and you just sort of look over and give it that look, and there's just a snap as the psychic power is lost, and they look down at their hands for a second as if wondering what the fuck just happened.
So, if I recall
I
correctly,
flip them off.
if I recall, there's a thing that will prevent me from sensing anything. But what do I feel when that happens? Because I have my senescience on.
You
That's-
feel the rogue psyker preparing to channel psychic energy, and then it goes away.
And I don't feel like a cause. It just stops.
It doesn't tell you where anything's coming from. It just tells you
Right.
that psychic activity is happening.
Right.
And Deny the Witch is specifically stopping psychic activity from happening.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I just want to check because I.
Just from behind Sirius's back, because it's probably looking in this direction, he just sees.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the psyker, so I have no
Yep.
idea, and I don't sense anything. So it's just,
Beautiful.
just a slightly confused look on my face as I'm looking at the psyker.
It's like Sarah just.
All right, who would like to go
Psyker stares
next?
directly at you. Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
All right,
Which, of
Sarah.
course, Sarah thinks they're just staring directly at her because they're just directly between
So
us.
does
Yeah, so Saris, who's next?
can't Jeremy? Does that mean you can't do anything now?
That means
or-
I have no combat action. I assume I can still move and shit.
Yeah, you can still move and do other stuff. Yeah.
Okay, do you still want to go, or do you want to hold?
No, I can hold for now.
Okay. So in that case,
At this point, I'm just going to be moving, and my plan is to at this point to like move right past these fuckers because I don't give a shit about them,
right.
and start going around back
Blair.
because I'm smart.
Yeah. You're up, Blair.
Right. Question. Am
Yes.
I controlling my devotees as well?
Yes, but they do go on their own turn,
Gotcha. Okay.
as does minions. So either one of you will elect to have one of your minions go, or they'll do it last out of the entire group.
Okay. All right. Blair is gonna fire at this one.
You're gonna have to go around the corner of the building you're standing next to.
Oh, I see.
I mean,
There we
you're
go.
that close. Why not step one further and just get him with your axe?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Going with your plasma axe.
And this is the guy I disarmed. So if he had parry on that dagger, he doesn't anymore.
Soon as I find getting too many weapons. Yes, this one. Okay.
There's this thing as too many weapons.
Correct. Ooh.
Yes, that hits.
Cool.
That is a
I'd be
complication,
afraid if it didn't.
but
Goddamn.
I'll get a ruin out of that.
How much shifting can happen here?
Their defense is 2, so all but one of those icons can be shifted.
Yeah, one of the icons.
So you can shift 3 for extra damage if you want.
Or 1 to glory and 3 for extra damage. Or 2
Right.
extra damage.
Yeah, 1 for glory and 2 for extra damage.
Yes. So how
Well-
many am I rolling total?
So you're gonna put. Are you shifting 1 for glory or just all of them into damage?
I'm gonna shift 1 for glory and then the others for damage.
All right, so you get 1 glory and 2 for damage. So you're going to put 2 in the bonus dice on the damage side of the attack.
Mhm.
Like out of the box.
Uh,
So if you click out of the box, or it won't say it.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
And then roll damage.
Okay.
Baby.
Yeah.
Very dead.
Not just a
the
little
AP,
bit.
the AP though.
Right?
So dodge, parry,
Yeah,
look
it's very
confused
good.
at the psyker, and the person behind me explodes.
That's kind of sexy.
As Blair just sort of steps up, twirls the axe a little bit, twirls the staff, raises it up, and just drives down, and the cultist splits in 2. Enemies going. The psyker sort of shouts out, "Release the poxwalkers, let them deal with this."
Wow.
And the building
off.
next to it bursts open as a mob of 20, like 9 or 10, sorry, correction, of these shambling corpses make their way out of the building that had been adjacent to the rogue psyker.
That.
Well, that's unpleasant.
I would like to go next.
It is currently the poxwalker's turn.
Oh no, I mean after this.
as the Poxwalker sort of shamble up and proceed to try and attack. God, it's been a long time since I've tried to attack with a mob. How the fuck does this work again?
Carefully.
Mob attacks, thank you.
Who knows?
When a mob attacks, make a single test for the mob as though it were an individual. Add +1 bonus die for every troop in the mob, and there are 10 of them, so there are going to be 9 bonus dice on this infectious fists
Jesus
and teeth
fuck.
attack.
Mm.
Sorry. The maximum number of bonus dice that can be added is half the number of troops in the mob per attack. Okay, so there will be 5 bonus dice.
Well,
4
there's
bonus
9, then it'll
dice.
be 4.
Sorry, there'll be
No, 5.
there are 10 of them, so there will be 5 bonus dice.
Oh, okay.
Blam. That is 8 to hit you.
Yeah.
And a complication.
Yep.
They all fall down.
To hit Saris?
Yeah, to hit.
I mean, are they trying to hit me or Tina, actually?
They're trying to hit Saris.
Okay.
The complication will give you guys another glory.
Yeah.
Ooh. So really just not doing this with any sort of style whatsoever.
What's your defense, Sen?
4.
So 2 of those can be shifted.
Nothing personal, Saris, but I'm glad it's killing you and not Tina.
That's
Remy
going to be-
is glad it's killing you and not Tina.
8 damage with no AP.
That is exactly my resilience.
Okay, so you just take a shock instead of a wound.
King.
As the it's less that their claws are like reaching in and actually puncturing your armor or skin, and more that there's a bunch of fucking zombies clawing and biting at you. It's kind of freaking you out for a second. As you take a shock instead of a wound. Which is good, because if they had actually wounded you, they would have inflicted you with poison.
But they didn't.
Oh dear.
Who would like to go next? Well, correction. Who is going next, Blair? Laurel had expressed a desire. Who is going next, Blair?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, Laurel, go.
Okay. So Laurel will stand. She's no longer prone. Shift here, and then I'm going to use the new power that I purchased.
Heyo.
What's that?
Ooh.
Spontaneous combustion.
You took
I like the
you
sound
took
of that.
you took pyrokinesis as your second discipline.
Sure did.
I just
So
want to point out for everyone that's playing's benefit, Julia took pyrokinesis. I took biomancy. For my secondary.
yes,
Brain
you took
grenade.
you took a lot of the infiltration style stuff. I took the
Oh, no.
let's murder
No,
things.
biomancy is heal yourself and endure through pain and things like that.
Does it
Well-
also have the ability to change your appearance?
Yes.
Yeah,
you
stuff
also
like that.
do.
Yeah,
Okay.
Look,
biomancy is
important-
manipulating your biology.
It is important when you are a pyro to occasionally choose non-pyro stuff so you throw people off your trail for legal
Exactly.
reasons.
Exactly.
You know, that's fair.
That's what I'm pointing out here.
Okay. I don't think there's anything that can give me any bonus dice
Who
to
art
this.
thou targeting with your spontaneous combustion?
So,
Hey, Saris.
well, this is a multi-target attack.
Say Saris and
Somebody else.
Remy.
Saris and Remy, both of them.
It does not
Yeah, you-
state a maximum number. It just
you
gives
can-
me
so-
20 meters.
Yeah, you can choose each and as many targets as you want. Each target you choose beyond the first will increase the DN by 2.
And the
Okay.
mob counts as one target.
Okay, so we're going for the
The
mob.
the mob counts as one target. Every icon you get past their defense hits another person in the mob automatically.
That
Okay.
sounds real good.
So, Laurel will begin. Literally, all of her clothes will just sort of glow different shades of reds, oranges, and yellows, and flap in the wind as her eyes catch fire and sparks shoot out from the sides of her head as she does spontaneous combustion. And I did not do
Wrath?
well on that. Yeah, we're
You
gonna
do-
wrath.
Yeah,
Yeah, much better.
there you go.
All right, and your DN is the target's defense, and if you're only going for the Poxwalkers, their defense is 1. So you will hit 6 out of the 10. I think
And you
no,
got a
7
glory.
out of the 10.
Hey. Cool,
Love it.
cool. And so do I have any that I can shift? No,
Technically,
because my
yes.
shifts go to targets.
You can shift for extra damage if you want, but you can shift the 2 that you have, but those will reduce the number of targets that are hit inherent.
We'll just give them the
The
Yeah,
baseline
12.
spontaneous combustion.
yeah. I think I have this keyed in here correctly.
12 plus 1 extra damage die.
So I put the 12 into the DR, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
12 is a damage rating.
And then 1
And
in the
the,
erectile dysfunction slot.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It's the ED slot. The erectile dysfunction slot.
Fucking.
So all 7 of them take 12 damage as they catch fire.
Yeah. So here's the thing about mobs. Because they're a pile of things, each of them only has 1 wound. So if you beat their resilience, they die, and it's just a matter of how many of them can you hit with your attack. Their resilience is 4. So 7 Poxwalkers out of this mob of 10 just burst into flames, flailing and screaming as they collapse and begin to char.
I'm just
Hooray!
Math-wise.
I continue to lock eyes with the psyker while
Yeah.
their tactics are failing.
And as her bonus action's not actually doing anything, but she will undo the clip on her back and swing her rifle around and level it.
Yeah.
And that will be her turn.
7, 8, 9. Good. Okay. Enemy turn. This cultist is going to run up to Remy and try and shoot and stab.
Didn't he already go?
No, this is
No, that
this
one
is
hasn't.
this one over here.
Oh,
The
that's
one that
the
tried to
other
shoot
one?
you earlier was this guy over here.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Also, he hasn't even gone yet. He just went on the orders of his boss, who is now dead. Auto pistol, trying to shoot Remy. Miss entirely. Knife. 5.
Ooh.
What's your defense, Remy?
I'm checking. I think that might have hit though. By which I mean I'm almost certain that hit. Yeah, my defense is a whole 1.
Wow.
Apparently. I don't know what defense consists of, but the character sheet says it's a 1.
It's your initiative. -1.
That probably tracks then.
Hmm.
Yeah, my initiative is 2.
Yeah.
That tracks,
Mhm.
yep. Kanife. Does 6 damage. What's your resilience?
3.
Okay. So it does go through. You would take 3 wounds unless you would like to try and roll resilience to try and
Yeah, I'll
turn
roll
that into shock.
resilience on that. Sure. Where is the die thing for that?
It'll be in the combat tab.
Yes, I'm on the combat tab.
It is, what is it?
Is it determination?
Determination, that's
Yeah.
the one, yes.
Okay. All
So
right.
you turn one of those 3 wounds into a shock.
Yep. And then 2 into wound.
Yep.
It's fine.
It did, however, score a critical hit. because its exalted icon was in the wrath
Mhm.
die.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna roll a D66 and find out what the critical hit is. 36. Pretty certain low is worse, so this might not be that bad.
I mean, that's dead center almost. It's 3 off from dead center, and it's on the high end. So
The 34 to 36 is savage attack. Target suffers 1 mortal wound.
okay,
If the target survives, they immediately acquire a memorable injury.
great,
So
Memorable
wound is
injuries
just-
are mostly just cosmetic.
right.
Mortal wound is just one more wound that.
I'm aware.
isn't- Yeah.
Yep.
Roll me a d6 to see what your memorable injury is. You get a battle scar. Nothing fancy. It's a scar.
Okay.
Got a nice, good, big knife
Oh,
wound
good.
scar.
Yeah, I've got a knife wound in my shoulder. Fine.
Another.
No, I think this is the first.
I was gonna say, where for cosmetic purposes, what kind of fancy scar did you just get? As he tries to
You're
knife you.
not now.
Fair enough.
A scar. It's a knife wound. Knife wounds look like knife wounds.
They do. But you've acquired a knife wound.
Okay.
You can determine what the scar looks like later.
It looks like a knife wound.
Like a knife wound. It's a little-
Okay, it's long and it's thin and it's right here. Unless this knife was like, I don't know,
Serrated or
serrated or spiraled or like
stabbed you with a corkscrew.
was I stabbed with a Cuisinart?
I was gonna say, did you want it to like cross over your face
No,
and get one of the
no.
facial scars or anything? But yeah,
Johnny,
okay.
Nope.
time.
But Laurel, who's going next?
Uh,
We're 12 minutes over.
Oh, are we? Okay, so yeah.
yes.
With that, we'll just remember where we're at. So we will go ahead. We'll go ahead and call it there for the week. I forgot. I didn't realize we were 12 minutes over.
It's fine.
We will continue with this battle next time.
All right, say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.